Hello, everyone. I'm live. Sorry, I was just reading something. It said that this stream is not going to be recorded because I'm already out of storage space. Oh, so it is what it is. Anyway, it is Saturday, the 18th of November, 2023. I'm currently in the Ottawa, Canada location, or in the outskirts of it. I am in my pajamas. This is a set. It's purple, deep purple, silk with pockets and everything, because I like to pretend I'm rich, so I dress rich. Anyway, so my apologies for being in my pajamas. I've been up since like 3:30 in the morning, so for like 3 hours, and there's just a lot of information that I've unpacked yet again, and that you're not going to get anywhere else. And so there's other things I wanted to share that I've been reaching out to people in the Ottawa area that are consultants that are possibly now considering that maybe they don't know everything, and finally taking a look at the information that I've been providing for the last few years, and speaking out more on what's going on, which is very positive. All right, so I've even mentioned that Jagmeet Singh, of all people, like he was even like calling out Netanyahu, and so I've messaged and reached out to more people within government, and I've shared so much irrefutable evidence about like various locations and false flag events that are happening now, and which have happened even in recent past, and what and how it correlates to stuff that's happened in the past that we're still not getting the reality of. And so with 9/11, this was absolutely something that was staged and planned. So even someone that I went to RMC with, I won't name names, but he's also someone that was in the Canadian Armed Forces, just retired, and he's still working within the government, I believe, and doing podcasts and stuff now. But even he was saying that like he is from this area, and even after 9/11 or around that time, like he and his family had contacts that were like the high levels RCMP, and even during that time they knew that there were explosions in the towers, and that this was a staged and planned event. And so this was all known, this at the highest levels of government, and that's why I'm saying this information needs to get out there, because we were lied to, and because of that, millions of people died, including a lot of civilians, innocent civilians, and this is something that we need to address, right? And so people still are not getting the reality of what's gone on in Europe. So even me with these like emails that I've shared, people that are in like units, departments, branches where this information is absolutely required. And so I'm hoping that people do respond to my data. I'm really hoping that that it works. But on that note, just to further allude to proof that you're not going to get anywhere else about January 6th, it's on Rumble. So I'm hoping that it can be.
We have.
I'll just because I'm in my pajamas, I feel kind of weird. So I'm just gonna like put this video up without me being seen, because I don't know how long this will be up, because even on Rumble, videos are censored.
We have hundreds of thousands of people here, and I just want them to be recognized by the fake news media. Turn your cameras, please, and show what's really happening out here, because these people are not going to take it any longer. They're not going to take it any longer.
The FBI has arrested hundreds of people in connection with the January 6th insurrection.
But I think right here, we're going to walk down to the Capitol, and we're going to cheer on our brave senators and congressmen and women.
Jacob Lang is an American hero. He saved 2 lives on January 6th. Both of those men have signed sworn affidavits saying that the only reason why they're alive is because Jacob pulled him out of a pile of being crushed and suffocated to death. Jacob Lang is still sitting in jail right now. Used to be in America, if you saved a man's life or a woman's life, you were considered to be a hero. But Jacob Lang did it on January 6th, 2 lives, and he's still incarcerated. So we need to tell that story.
America, you deserve the truth. You deserve the full story. You deserve to view the historic event of January 6th beyond the censored lens of mainstream media. Hello, I'm Jake Lang, a 27-year-old political prisoner that has been locked up in solitary confinement for over 17 months. The footage you are about to witness has never before been seen by the public. It is the raw and uncut truth of January 6th. The day when free men and women stood unarmed against tyranny and were brutalized, beaten, and even murdered on the steps of our own Capitol. The patriotic event of the century where brave Americans came together to defend the Constitution and free and fair elections.
So how did this peaceful protest end up becoming violent?
There was a peaceful protest at the Ellipse. It was one of many peaceful protests that had taken place across the country. There was a call to continue to protest that day, to go down and walk down to the Capitol peacefully. What happened on the way over is that peaceful walk was hijacked by all different types of groups of people with nefarious intent.
Police are squabbling with protesters. Oh, there we go. And they just reached the Capitol again.
The police, who are in charge of securing the perimeter, move aside the barricades and let the protesters, or rioters, or insurrectionists, whatever you're going to call them, a lot of people still in prison, let them in the building.
How about the one guy? Go in, get in there, everybody else. Get in there, go. Nothing happens to him. What happened with him? People were funneled into areas of the Capitol that were either undermanned or that had defenses that had been taken down, barricades that had been moved by people like Ray Epps and a bunch of other nefarious actors that day.
There's a man called Ray Epps, who was a longtime conservative activist. He was captured on camera at least 3 times, possibly more, encouraging people on January 6th and the day before, January 6th Eve, January 5th, encouraging protesters to storm the Capitol.
Tomorrow, we need to go into the Capitol. Into the Capitol. Peaceful.
That's right, Epps. And people knew it. And I was sharing this even like the day of, even like the days afterwards, and I was shut down by people. And I'm a fucking consultant, sorry for swearing, but I was sharing this information and people were instead shutting me down instead of hiring me.
Okay, folks, everyone, as soon as the president's done speaking, we go to the Capitol. The Capitol's this direction.
Is this guy going to be charged? Where is he? He was on the FBI most wanted list. Now he's not.
Exactly how many of those present at the Capitol complex on January 6th were FBI confidential informants, agents, or otherwise working directly or indirectly with an agency of the United States government? We already voted. What have we done? Let's take it. Let's go!
We're in! Come on! We gotta fill up the Capitol! Come on! We need help! We're gonna fill up the Capitol! Move forward! Climb up over the wall! Get into those bleachers!
There was the largest manhunt in American history conducted after this day, January 6th. We're still talking about it, as noted, a year later. And yet this guy is not only unidentified, nobody in authority seems interested in the slightest in finding out who he is.
Any FBI agents or confidential informants actively participate in the events of January 6th? Yes or no?
Sir, I can't answer that.
Did any FBI agents or confidential informants commit crimes of violence on January 6th?
I can't answer that, sir.
Did any FBI agents or FBI informants actively encourage and incite crimes of violence on January 6th?
Sir, I can't answer that.
Allegedly, the story goes that a man dropped off pipe bombs at the DNC and the RNC. Our FBI has showed us a couple of stills of those individuals, and there has been nobody telling us anything beyond it. I live in DC. There's a camera on every corner.
Yep.
The Capitol building, the White House, the most secure buildings possibly in the world. We're seeing Tucker Carlson, Joe Rogan start to show that the FBI had some involvement in January 6th. We're urging supporters to go toward the Capitol building. What is your assessment as you're watching more and more of this information come out?
Well, I have been watching, and I've been watching it very closely, and a lot of people are being treated very unfairly. This should never happen in our country or any country, what happened to them, especially when you look at the way the so-called other side is treated. But this pipe bomber or bomber, who knows if it was a pipe, who knows what it was. They never found him. I've seen pictures of him, and very...
That guy just waved to law enforcement. So known to law enforcement. So likely law enforcement.
clear pictures, and you know that they do have cameras, not just a camera, they have many cameras on every corner.
And I've shared this now for a long time. Take a look at my Rumble, take a look at my YouTube. I'm on account number 3 with YouTube. And look at my friggin' social media. I even called the Freedom Convoy before it came to Ottawa.
And I would imagine they probably know who he was, and I guarantee he wasn't one of the people that were at that protest for the right reason. It was a protest. You know, the insurrection was November 3rd, the election day. This was a protest about a rigged election.
We have put together I think, the most extensive and inclusive voter fraud organization in the history of American politics.
All of us here today do not want to see our election victory stolen by emboldened radical left Democrats, which is what they're doing, and stolen by the fake news media. That's what they've done and what they're doing. We will never give up. We will never concede. It doesn't happen. You don't concede when there's theft involved.
So who was capable of actually opening this locked door from above, which seems like it was a magnetic lock system and the door could be opened from distance? That's the mystery. Who opened this door? Who had knowledge of how to open this door so that this gentleman could let people in?
So again, you're not going to get this anywhere else. I've been sharing this for so long, and this is credit to Stanton Cree 420, who has great information. I can't believe only 34 followers. Please like, share, subscribe to this channel as well. And great stuff.
And the gentleman who actually...
And Woo's News also has good stuff on January 6th that I've already shared, again, like several months ago. And it's also a good page.
He was walking to the door and he signaled up and asked the person to open the door. He has not been arrested yet, and he is not on an FBI wanted list.
Of course not.
They broke through the police line and people are going in. The doors are open.
Peacefully to discuss what needs to be done to save our country. Remain calm. We're not going to stop. We're going to be heard. Everybody, this must be peaceful.
Protesters were then pushed up against the walls of the Capitol. The police who were defending the walls of the Capitol then pushed back against the protesters, and a conflict ensued as a result.
The truth about Rosanne Boyland, if people knew her story, would change everything about what people thought they knew about January 6th. Most of the violent footage that people have seen with actual protesters being violent or combative with police was around the West Capitol entrance where Rosanne Boyland was killed.
They knew that people were getting crushed because while we're at the bottom of this pile, we're yelling as loud as we can, we're dying, help, help.
What you're currently witnessing is Capitol Police officers disobeying their oath to defend the Constitution and to protect human life. We have a scene right now unfolding on the West Terrace Tunnel entrance that people died in. It was an absolutely horrific, grotesque scene of police brutality, unrivaled in American history.
And they should have known that these were staged and planned, and that their own people were the ones that were opening the barricades, letting people in, and that there were people that were even uniformed actors. So people didn't even know what people were actually real government and not. Like, this was a fucking mess, and this is murder.
Thousands of people who witnessed Rosanne Boyland's death, 34-year-old woman from Georgia. She died at the hands of Capitol Police. They pummeled her over onto the ground. They caused a stampede in which
I was so afraid of this happening on like during the Freedom Convoy in Ottawa too. And this is why, like, since then, like, also, like, I just haven't stopped sharing information and calling shit out. And even went there myself in that like downtown, like knowing that all these friggin' possibilities, and then calling it out before it happened. And yeah, because it's crazy.
When she got ran over, they pepper sprayed her while she was down. They put noxious tear gas in the atmosphere. She couldn't breathe, and she ended up dying in my arms. And may God rest her soul.
And so she died in his arms. He was trying to save her, and that's why he's still locked up, because like as soon as he gets out, like they know that this is going to be more mainstream media, and that and this is bullshit, right? Like he's a political prisoner, and it's disgusting. And this is why, like, people don't trust, unfortunately, people within government anymore, which also we need to gain the fucking trust back. And this is not the way, obviously. And what happened at the Freedom Convoy too, with even Marco Menachino and other people trying to like incite riots against innocent civilians, like that's not the way. Okay, it's so obvious to people that already know this shit's happening and being planned. She's dead. She's dead. He's saying it.
The real fights that the news
that people died in. It was an absolutely horrific, grotesque scene of police brutality, unrivaled in American history. We have thousands of people who witnessed Rosanne Boyland's death, 34-year-old woman from Georgia. She died at the hands of Capitol Police. They pummeled her over onto the ground. They caused a stampede in which she got ran over. They pepper sprayed her while she was down. They put noxious tear gas in the atmosphere. She couldn't breathe, and she ended up dying in my arms. And may God rest her soul.
the real fights that the news talks about in the media, where they drag the police officer down and they're beating the police officer and all that, and they say the things about the police they shouldn't be saying, that was after they killed Rosanne Boyland. That was after they almost killed me. That was after they gassed an entire crowd.
There was other people there that day, as you'll see in this footage right now, like Philip Anderson. He's a young black man from Texas who's a brave patriot who's come forward recently and signed an affidavit, court-sworn affidavit, that saying that if it wasn't for me, that he would be dead that day by the hands of the Capitol Police. This is just another story of the countless stories that are horrific from January 6th of people being shot with tear gas canisters, hit with rubber bullets, pummeled over the head with steel baton. There was a concerted effort by the Capitol Police today, that day, to absolutely punish the American people and hurt them, and not to defend human life, and not to usher them into the building and take selfies like we've seen at some different parts. On the West Terrace Tunnel entrance, they were there to hurt people.
They weren't fighting back or getting crushed. What they did was they pushed more and more people on top of us. They were beating and beating and beating.
And what? So these people had no right to self-defense? Just die, right? Just let them kill you, right? No, guys.
Everything they said about Rosanne Boyland from the very beginning is a lie.
You can't see it, and it's not to be dramatic, but like, I'm crying. This is still hard stuff to watch, even for someone with my experiences in combat and stuff like that. I deployed to Afghanistan. I was an infantry officer for 15 years. Like, I've been calling this stuff out. I've been sharing this. It's still hard to watch because like there's so many layers to this, like the amount of disappointment in this.
They straight up killed her. It was murder. And I was holding her hand as she died. All right. And everything she felt, I felt as well, because I was right there next to her at the bottom of the pile holding her hand.
There's nothing more devastating than watching men and women unarmed be killed by our own police officers in this country.
Roseanne Boyland was seen being beaten by a policewoman while she was laying there seemingly unconscious.
How fucked up is that?
Here's how you know the Capitol Police are evil. When Roseanne Boyland is lying.
Again, not everyone, all right, but there's still this like groupthink, or like these like people get pressured into doing things like it's like a hive mind or whatever you want to call it, and they're supposed to be trained to not get into that kind of like a mindset.
Lying there on the ground, dying, motionless, not moving at all. A Capitol Police officer beats her over the head with a baton. And now the Capitol Police Department has ruled that that was objectively reasonable. I think they said objectively, or maybe they said something. Yeah, they ruled that that was reasonable. I'm like, hold on. How's it reasonable to beat a dying woman over the head with a baton?
Disgusting. Disgusting.
So Lila Morris walks free and Roseanne Boyland is no longer with us.
Morris walks free.
I always said to myself since day one, before I knew about Roseanne Boyland, what would make Trump supporters, who are normally back the blue, former military guys, attack police officers or seemingly be very hostile towards police officers? And it wasn't until months later.
And there were veterans too, like even at the Freedom Convoy, that were getting beat up by pieces of shit in uniform. And again, I work with law enforcement and I have in my life, and I back the fucking blue, but I don't fucking back this shit.
That I discovered the story of Roseanne Boyland and the fact that we're actually watching a woman being brutalized by a police officer and being crushed by a crowd. And when they tried to pull her out of the crowd, they were being tear gassed by police. So police was preventing actual Trump supporters from rescuing multiple people that were at the bottom of a pile. That is the real story. And if people knew that there was a chance that police possibly killed another protester, not Ashley Babbitt, but Roseanne Boyland, and that the reason that these Trump supporters were violent or were acting hostile towards the cops was because they were trying to save people's lives, then that changes the whole narrative.
It was like something you'd see out of a movie, like in a war scene. And it was a really terrifying experience. If it wasn't for Jake Lang, I definitely would be dead.
Yes, she collapsed underneath him. For 4 minutes, she was underneath, not breathing. What happened, sir? A lady died in front of me. I picked up the black, carried her down the steps. She fainted and she was crushed by 6 people. Out here? Did they bring her? Did she go inside? She was purple by the time they got her.
She was murdered by the hands of the Capitol Police, and this was witnessed by thousands of Americans on the steps of our own Capitol. You know, I've watched Roseanne Boyland, the life leave her body, and it haunts me to this day. Every night that I'm in solitary confinement, I see her, I pray for her, I pray for her family, and her memory will never be forgotten. Her sacrifice for this country will never be forgotten.
There are approximately 15 men who are incarcerated to this day in DC Gitmo or one of the other jails that are holding January 6th defendants. And I'd say at least half of those were nonviolent. They didn't even attack police. Some of them threw objects at police or were hostile towards police and are being charged with attacking police officers. But 15 people currently sit in solitary confinement since January 6th who witnessed what happened to Roseanne Boyland, who all say they were trying to help her and others and save their lives that were underneath the pile of protesters that were on top of Roseanne Boyland, but were getting tear gassed and hit by police, anyone that tried to save these people's lives.
You heard me, motherfucker! That's a fucking disgrace! We fucking protect this stuff, motherfucker!
The Capitol Police were understaffed, they were undermanned, despite multiple calls from President Trump and from other people in the administration to man the Capitol and to defend it better. They were undermanned. It feels like intentionally to provoke a conflict. The conflict happened that day, and as a result, you have this massive dragnet where everybody who had the courage to go to DC that day and object to the election results is now a target of the Department of Justice.
And even people to go to the Capitol, this was planned and rehearsed for weeks. And this was all like a psyops. Again, like more of a distraction and a diversion that was funded by people within friggin' government. The elite types, you know what I mean? The ones that have shares and stocks in like the military, pharmaceutical, industrial complex. Like they're the ones that fund this stuff. Just like I've said with George Soros funded like a lot of protests that were pro-Palestine and pro-terrorist. And there's a difference between the two. And other people, like even, and so we need to stop and take a look at this stuff.
Journalism needs to pull back the media curtain and expose their lies by showing
They fucking pushed him off the stairs! A cop in blue and black pushed him both hands on the back. Hey, fire! Hey, fire! Hey, good.
If you're on YouTube, share this video because I don't know how long this is going to stay up on YouTube, to be honest with you.
They enticed them, they entrapped them, and then they attacked them.
We're gonna beat the fuck out of that guy. The cops are beating the fuck out of that guy.
A little excessive use of force there. And I'm a use of force instructor, still certified. That is excessive use of force.
They're shooting into their own people.
That's fake. So that's a crisis actor. So I also share that. And also even Shannon Bobbitt, like she is allegedly still alive. So like we got to know this, unpack this stuff too. And this is why it's good that I'm watching this with you in my pajamas because, yeah. And this is what's annoying. You've got these crisis actors that are pieces of shit. Crisis actors, riot actors, what do you want to call them? That even they're involved in so many different like things, like even like the BML, Antifa, the border people that they share that they claim are illegal immigrants. Like there's so many different types of actors, ladies and gentlemen. There's friggin' at the start of friggin' COVID, and like, oh my God, even in friggin' Europe and Ukraine with people like, you name it. There's so much. And these people need to stop and get arrested, and the media too. That was acting. What you just saw with the person on top of the and it's very clear that that's acting to me as well.
Ashley Babbitt was a protester that was shot and killed by Capitol Police Officer Michael Byrd. And in the video, it's
That's fake news. And take a look at my other Rumble videos where I actually approve that, and so does Woo's News.
very clear that Babbitt was carrying no arms and she posed no threat as she climbed through a window. Yet this officer chose to shoot her point blank. In most jurisdictions, the use of deadly force is justified only under conditions of extreme necessity as a last resort, when all lesser means have failed. Someone to shoot. Ashley Babbitt's death was unnecessary, and Officer Byrd should be held accountable. But the Capitol Police found Byrd's actions were, quote, lawful and within department policy. So, decorated Air Force veteran Ashley Babbitt is dead, and Officer Byrd is called a hero. That is the upside-down America that we live in today. You have the fake news right after the insurrection reporting within days that one woman was shot by police, but it was her fault. Another woman had a drug overdose, and 2 other guys had cardiac arrest because and didn't explain why. We're fast forward a year and a half till now, and so much more information has come out on those people's deaths, and that's documented. Video, Freedom of Information Acts that were filed that got more information out, and the mainstream media has not yet gone back to retract what they said originally.
As flashbang grenades went off, a man in the crowd suffered a medical emergency and was pulled out to get CPR.
So we got someone on the ground right now, passed out, getting CPR done. They can't get anybody in here, and the cops are throwing flashbangs into the crowd. They're trying to save this guy's life right now.
It wasn't like they were flashbanging these guys that were walking in, or even like right on the perimeter. These are 2 guys that were pretty far from the Capitol, but just happened to be in the path of the flashbang.
I was wrong. I thought that guy was causing problems, but he's not. I think that man probably died. I think it's in the
So no one ever talks about in the mainstream media these 2 guys and how they really died. If you Google their names for the rest of time, unless it's changed and we get the narrative changed, it'll just say that they had cardiac arrest.
I do want to clarify some things. Oh, I'm still on. Oh my goodness, I look ridiculous. Okay. Sorry, I didn't even put moisturizer on or anything. This is Woo's News. This is just like to show some of the acting that I was talking about, where people were even lifting barricades.
So now Tony just makes his way up the stairs because he's our wonderful kayfabe cheerleader. Put a little bit more into it, side ponytail. Give me something. No facial expressions, just nothing. Because she is dead inside. And they just retreat and they defeat Obstacle 1 in less than a minute. Didn't even put up a fight. They just scatter like the terrible actors they are. And they're making their way up.
Making their way downtown, walking fast on the grass in a Trump out. Look at Schaefer had just making his way through the crowd.
Aaron Moskovsky makes his way in. Ugh, now Unabomber's coming into the scene. Oh, we'll see this cop, Epps, later. Not to be confused with our captain, Ray Epps. So as they're filing in, we can see these mini fire extinguishers on top of these plastic fire mates, already set out. There's Victor Blue. Good job, Pepe. I like your radio. What in the hell? They're just filing in. What, for your paycheck? Silly, you have to complete the job first, and they'll hire just about anyone. See this black fence here? We'll see this come down in about 2 minutes, and it comes out like butter. So as we're coming into the scene, Ryan Samsel goes up to Barbie and apologizes again. She looks pissed. It looks like Ryan gets defensive. All right, someone's getting fake arrested in the back. And here we have InfoWars turned Elijah Schaefer co-host, Savannah Hernandez, doing some journalisming. Well, look what the cat dragged in. Sabrina Tavern.
So even InfoWars was there, like I said, like for filming and recruiting, and recording, I mean, like these are crisis actors. These are actors.
Complete with her helmet, looking unsure. How would she know to bring a helmet? And this guy is photojournalist John Farina. Cops doing some Meisner. They're just all standing around, not really sure what to do.
You can. These are identified. The names are given. You can look these people up.
They're buying time. They need everybody to fill this space. People are still coming. Remember this blue tape. And they just file right in. Another fire extinguisher. This whole time they have guns, but they never use them. Enrique and Camel trying to make love. Something tells me that Camel is ex-military. God, imagine waking up to that every morning. Well, here's the fake arrest. Tay-Tay and Savannah getting it all right in front of Laffy, who's still laughing. And these black crates, in case you were wondering, contain audio equipment and loudspeaker systems rented from MSI or Maryland Sound International. Notice how all these guys know to chant the same thing? Whoa.
What's so bad? Why can't we come?
Oh, Tay-Tay and Savannah swapping dick pics. I have Aaron in the background, kayfabing his little Jewish heart out. Emphasis on little. Nordine getting some Tecate. We'll call this cop Carl. And now we're gonna remove the black fence. Boom, comes right out. As they file into the Lower West Plaza, and this Dollar General fence easily snaps for your convenience. And here you have John and Amy Schubert, who we like to call Freedom, and they just walk on through.
Yeah, let's move a little faster, people.
Hey, Tappy! And look at all these crisis actors behind them. Back on the West Lawn, this footage comes from Town Hall reporter Julio Rosas, who wasn't tipped off about this at all. Would really love to know what's happening under that tent. Oh, all the hard work they put into lining that fence. And they just walk right in. Chief Conti, where are all your men? Sure does bring new light to the word acting, Chief. These are still actors, guys. With that many people involved, somebody would have said something to the news. Now they come in, they're making their way towards the Southwest scaffolding, with Camel leading them. God, Epps, put a little more into it. What do you think's going to happen right now? Where do you think they're going? Another fire extinguisher. I know, it's cold, guys, but this is going to be in the history books. It almost seems so rehearsed. Oh, someone's knocked over a fire extinguisher. Wonder what it'll be used for. Nordine, are you drunk? It's okay if you are. Maybe it'll just add more to your character. Side ponytail. She's like a wallflower. Now this guy right here is Karn, and he's the star of the scene that's about to take place. Notice this guy in the background. He runs, and then he slows down as Cop 2. Goes to give him a gentle hug. Just brings him back into the scene. And where's Major going? I'm going to tell you what they're doing in just a second. Listen to what this old guy says. Did you hear what he said? Go ahead and push me down. Play into me. What do you think, folks? They're getting ready to spray. Are they summoning the powers of Miss Cleo? Everyone's psychic. Notice the cooler. Notice the lumber in the background. Notice his bag of trash or bag of props. Got Unabomber trading beauty secrets. We'll call this guy here Dr. T. Here we're about to unveil one of our smoking guns. Notice the pile of lumber sitting here. It will be used later. Now watch this. Insert bull. Or what's left of it. And Bull is our stunt guy, who turns out to be 33-year-old Iraq war veteran Landon Kenneth Copeland. And he probably charges a lot because we only have him for 20 minutes. And that's our cop Major, who just brought him in. Now, as our cops are bringing Bull in, we're going to have a little Turkish delight, a little mini.
I've already called out veterans about doing this bullshit stuff, about getting involved in this crisis acting bullshit. And they're specifically exploited and targeted. And I have been too. You say fucking no to this stuff, right? You don't incite and or enable stuff, you know, like you don't do this, right? There were people that were actually thinking that this was real and people that were thinking that this was playtime. And that's why it got so complicated, just like 9/11 and just like all the other stuff as well.
Scene to warm up the kids. Get that shot at him. He's gonna climb to the top. What do you think's gonna happen? It's just a little mini show to get everybody in the spirit, and they take him down. And it probably just serves as some type of distraction. We're gonna see little mini shows later. And here's a guy who tried to go in earlier, taking the knee. Notice this guy in the black, kayfabing, like he got maced. So this guy escorts him away from this area. He's the one who came in with Bull. Notice the ladder and the cones in the background. We'll see those later. And now they bring Turkish Delight down with a big shit-eating grin on his face.
The main crowd ain't even come yet.
Yeah, and they won't for another 45 minutes. So here, Bull makes his way into the crowd, but he doesn't know where to go. So he's gonna come back and ask for directions. Door opens. You'd think they'd lock it. You'll notice later that the Northwest scaffolding, you know, the only side that they go up, doesn't have its doors on the outside. Getting his lunch.
You're having a blast? Looks like you're having a blast.
I guess that's a no. And now Bull knows where to go. Hey, it's Happy. Oh, now the SWAT's coming in. Look at all these fat cops. You know who paid for all of this, right? We did. And Q's right behind them. Oh, someone's late to the show. Get a good look at these cops. Barbie's in the background taking a break. This brand new fire extinguisher. And Q's just gonna walk right up the steps while Nick Quested gets all of it. And they just file right in, hoping their tactical gear stays intact. While John Farina double penetrates them with 2 cameras. Jesus, it's like inbred Sidhu. While Sabrina gets all of it. This cop's laughing, and so are they. Backups. They don't say anything else. Just nothing. Why did they hire her? This guy's standing in front of Data. We'll call him David, and we'll see him later. So everybody just standing around, waiting. Listen to how quiet it is. What do you think they're all waiting for? So, if you are an actor, one of your main jobs is to do this. Pour water into people's eyes. Get used to it. You never had a country, because it isn't a country. It's a corporation, and still under crown law. Look at these guys just chatting it up with the cops. The summoning is part of the show. Oh, there's some backup. Ready for some kayfabe action, boys? Why do you think Camel's doing such a great job right now? Not only is he ginning up the crowd, there's a shit ton of photographers right behind us. Does anybody know what that patch is? Oh, Grandma's kicking him out. Everyone's so polite around here. Look how they're all spaced. And that's Waterboy. We'll see him later. And they're still flooding in. Meanwhile, Congress begins joint session, certifying the, quote, presidential election results, you know, the main arc at the end of season 2020, as Michaela Pence steps into the role of Judas. And all of them just pretending to be completely oblivious to all of the bad acting that's occurring outside of their lair. Outside, let's go live with Patrick on the Maryland Walkway, or as we like to call it, the Southwest Channel. Seems kind of vacant, but we don't see a lot of footage of the Southwest Channel. Think about it. Trump told everybody to march on Pennsylvania Avenue, which becomes the Pennsylvania Walkway. In fact, he said Pennsylvania 19 times in his speech. Remember, we believe that Patrick is a real person who doesn't know that he's surrounded by a bunch of actors. Hash experiment, anyone? So as he enters, notice this massive group headed towards us, away from the Capitol, and in a hurry, where they'll break into pairs, find their placement marks, and faithfully stand, because they've been given instructions not to move from that spot until further notice, so that when our real folks show, they can fully envelop them. Is that Gilbert Godfrey? Now the Scriptures duo take their position and begin their bullhorn Bible-thumping rants. Get a good look at these background actors.
We are so honored that they hired us as crisis actors to come here to the Capitol, and we're going to blend in with everyone au natural. We are going to storm the building.
We're gonna take it.
Now let's cut to Angel, who's still on the east side, where they've set up a live screening of Trump's speech.
And I say this, despite all that's happened, the best is yet to come.
Over yonder on the west side, everybody's just cruising around like this is Lollapalooza or something. Might as well be. Oh, just a little boop boop, and that'll get you fake arrested. No! The hell? You can't blame these guys. They've never fake arrested somebody before. Oh, there's the cross. Hope they sanded it down. Oh, guess not. G.I. Kayfabe chatting it up with the cops, sees the camera on him, and starts malfunctioning. Oh dear. What happened there? Maybe the power of Christ compelled him. So as they crowd surf, why do you think they've come up here? We're just going to spoil it for you. There are 4 reasons why we believe they've come up to the spot. Number 1, to have all of our newcomers fill in the space behind us. 2, so they can bring out all the barricades when they push everyone back. 3, so we can buy time with our photographers before all of our real Trump supporters show in 40 minutes. 4, and most importantly, to dress the set. Meaning, this backdrop is too pristine for our photographers, and we need to get it a little bloody dingy gringy for our cameras. So let's break it down now. Now, Bull has entered the scene, and notice Karn having a little conversation. And not safe for work warning? Well, while you're watching Karn, you gotta watch Bull too. Now watch what Karn does. He does this little like thriller dance. And notice Bull constantly looks in the direction of Karn. So after Karn does his little thriller dance, Bull turns to the right and he nods. And he bends down and he just makes his way over to Karn. And he just stands there and then he puts his arm around him. The story goes is that Karn is shot with a rubber bullet in the cheek and it pisses Bull off. So let's see if it really happened. This is the impetus that Bull needs to get all riled up because he's our stunt guy. Now let's take a look at this blood. Now the color of this blood looks completely different than this. And the spatter here doesn't really resemble a cheek wound. Got a bottle of peroxide in the back and they're gonna get as much fake blood in this area as possible. And then they're gonna trample through it. And now you see what we mean by dressing the set. So now Karn just nonchalantly spits the blood capsule into his bottle. Now Melina enters. She just pours water onto the wound. Notice that Karn doesn't even look to see who's doing it. He just expects it. She's the source of all the spatter. Dressing the set.
Don't put water, got caught.
And she dumps some more water.
Because the blood looked too fake, they had to put water on it.
Water on the blood. And now he squats, so Samsel and Pudge can treat him. So if you're wondering what that is, it's wound sealer. And when they do these types of drills, they would treat this like a...
So that's why you need someone like me to go through these friggin' videos, because there's a lot of good content in various different ones, but it's still like, there's still incorrect information because not everyone, you know, is going to get everything 100%. And so this is one of the guys that I shared that said like, no, he was a crisis actor. Now I'm sharing proof.
Real wound and take a good look at it. And this is what he's going to look like later. So now he's going to try to take it out.
No. And this is being called on the spot too, right? So like this took me took me minutes to get to, but still I had no idea that was going to be shared like that. And with Ashley Bobbitt too, she's in this video as well, but I just don't know where exactly in it she is.
Leave it in there. Just leave it in there. Leave the ball in there.
Now listen to what Melina says.
He needs a medic.
He needs a medic. I am the medic. She forgot she was the medic.
He needs a medic.
Notice the radio, and unlike Biggs, not for optics. Makes you wonder why they would have wound sealer and peroxide on them. Jesus. Now this footage was taken by Data. And unfortunately, this is all we have to piece together. And all of the footage that people have, there's cuts in it, with the exception of Jaden. Just checking in. Does this look real? Does that look real? Getting all the pictures. This fake cop, we'll call him Trapper. Notice his nameplate is missing, as he exaggerates a dramatic muffled monologue. You can see Melina holds up a can of Wound Sept Plus, so she's gonna disinfect him. There's she doesn't. She doesn't take him anywhere. And you can see Korn tilt his blood bottle, and Chief just watches along. They're just buying time. And remember, Korn has a big photo shoot later. While Nick Quested gobbles it up with 2 cameras. So this cop's gonna bend down to check on Korn, just keep spitting in that bottle, because we're gonna use that later. Now the cop attempts to escort him, but he's intercepted by Samsung. I'm with them. Okay, this isn't a league of their own. Let's get ready to KFA! Samsung, that's fake anger and background. Oh, I can't believe it, JR. Oh, I love Bull. He's the best one here because he's a method actor and fake cop Trapper pretending to do something. So now we're going to do a round of slap and tickle. This is how this works. They play fight for a little, get all the shots, and then take a break. Okay, we see Korn there, and they're just stepping all up in the blood, creating transfer patterns. Ooh, somebody brought the silly string, and now we're going to see why we call him Bull. See how he comes into the scene, anticipating the impact, with his back arch, as he charges into them. Now it gets even better, but let's just pause it right there. So we see Korn here, whose real name is Joshua Matthew Black, who released a YouTube video, which has since been removed, 2 days after the shit show. And in this video, he tells us that he was protecting a Capitol officer who had been pepper sprayed and fallen to the ground. And that's when he was hit in the cheek with a plastic projectile. But we know that's not true because he was already shot, looking like a piece of corn or a vintage toy gun pellet. But it should be noted that these types of wound applications are readily producible. So here's the scene of him protecting the cops. Don't hurt him! Did you hear that crunch? That's his blood bottle. Oh, God. And Bull gets in another shove. Back still arched. Don't tase me, bro. Hey, you remember that viral phrase from the 2007 University of Florida incident where police tased Andrew Meyer for asking John Kerry if he was a member of the Skull and Bones fraternity? Which he is. 322, baby. Oh, watch out for sneakies. While this cop signals for a reset. But look at this cop. We'll call him Lieutenant. Now, where do you think he's going right now? Looks like he's going over to Bull, but he's stopped by Falafel. So now he goes over to Bull to direct him to a new setup to his right. And he says, okay. And now Lieutenant pushes the guy, and they're kayfabing away for all the cameras. Victor Blue just blocking us, just trampling all up in that blood. Yeah, tell us what happened.
God bless America.
Oh.
Bless America.
No, it's like they used a strawberry popsicle for that blood.
God gave us freedom.
Okay, and thank you for that. At the same time, Dr. T gives instructions to a cop, and you can see the barricades have been placed on the south side. A lot of our crisis actors have moved down next to the media tower. So while they're resetting, let's see what's happening on Pennsylvania Avenue. And here's one of our stars, the face of the proverbial shit show, Jacob Chansley, just leading all our actors to the set, loving that camera, getting that attention, because he knows he's our main fall guy.
He is one of those paid protesters that travels around.
Drinking their blood, eating our babies.
Well, that's true.
Cow, bitch, I'm a cow. I'm not a cat.
We're not doing this for Donald Trump. We're doing this for the Constitution. It's for the future of our republic. I hope you guys will all stand with us. Thank you.
Baby, why is Hot Wheels over here talking about some stand with him? Baby, where are we standing?
Woo! Back on the main stage.
And then late in the evening, boom, these explosions of bullshit. Together we will drain the Washington swamp.
They won't. Get 4 years to do that. Didn't arrest any of them.
Let's walk down Pennsylvania Avenue. I want to thank you all. God bless you, and God bless America. Thank you all for being here. This is incredible.
Really? And nothing concludes Trump's legacy than a song about a gay bathhouse. Look at this guy. At the same time, God, yes, there is a new world order, and it's well on its way. And full disclosure, we have a bit of neutrality bias when it comes to Jonesy. And like most free thinkers who begin their descent down the rabbit hole, you are likely to run into this guy along your path.
So I've also called him out as well. And again, whether he knows it or not, he's controlled opposition. But he also, again, I don't know the guy. I would love to meet the guy. I would love to talk with this guy, get on his show, because I do think that he shares a lot of good information. And so that's why, I think that he's still like a valuable member of society and has good content. But again, like stuff like this, no.
And throughout the years, he was someone in your corner, and you cheered him on until one day you realize that he is the epitome of controlled opposition. And more on him later. Skip. It's a Grand High Witch. Skip. Oh my God, dude. Woof. It's the cast of Saturnia. Homie, closer Tony Danza. Look at all these Freemasons. Skip. Now the real people come. The authentic people who accept this one. Here's one of our main stars, Ashley Babbitt.
There's an estimated over 3 million people here today.
No, there's not. What are you smoking? You know what we find interesting about this live stream? It was licensed and sold to TMZ. How'd you guys manage to do that post-mortem? Interesting. And now the Crack Pack and their disciples make their way to set. Back on the west side, where we're having a little barricade ballet. Get it, Bull.
Guys, I want you to pretend that that's your paycheck.
You think there was gold in those barricades? Jesus, they're all like, what is barricade, precious?
And let's give a round of applause for Bull.
Because he's done. Now this guy's gonna signal to stop while they drag this guy away. Like a scene from Nightmare on Elm Street. Oh, there's Kano getting wild and just loving every minute of it. What is happening? While our sneaky photographers get her done. Get those pics. Oh no, it's Cronus, which means a death has taken place. Benjamin Phillips, founder of Trumparoo, who organized a bus of Trump supporters from Pennsylvania to D.C. Several people called Phillips' cell phone when he failed to arrive after the shit show was over. And one of those calls was answered by Washington police, who told them that Phillips had suffered a stroke while he was looking for a parking space and died at George Washington University Hospital, per Francisco Diaz, who will become our chief medical examiner in 22 days. To complicate matters, Phillips' obituary will not be released for another 4 months. So let's see what transpired. So here at Obstacle 2, they've plopped this redneck archetype here next to these padded modular mats, just taking it all in. When all of a sudden, a flock of folks, including our Obstacle 2 barricade remover, carry Phillips north on a barricade stretcher. Notice there's a person on top performing CPR. I remember these two, fake National Guard and Sergeant Pepper.
This is another thing I called out right away. While I was watching the other video, I said that that's fake. And here you go. It's right here.
Followed by photographer Chris Jones, this cop will call legs, and Time Magazine photographer Christopher Lee.
So Canadian government, like high levels, hire me back again. Get me on the contracts. I'm sorry. The people that you hired to replace me, they're not working out. All right, get me back in.
Here we have our background squad, fresh from holding, as they scattered to make way for Phillips. But Taylor Hansen claims that Phillips died after he suffered a direct hit from a grenade. And this is a regular guy with a face shield, just riding around on a hoverboard. So now our SWAT comes into the scene, followed by Chris Jones and, Marini Staub from our kayfabe flight. When, what? Another one? Uh-oh! Who is it, boy? Kevin Greason. Greason, a 55-year-old father of 5 from Alabama, who worked at the Goodyear tire plant in Decatur, had a history of high blood pressure, and in the midst of the excitement, suffered a heart attack. According to his wife, she was on the phone with him when he actually died, and spoke with a person who attempted to resuscitate him. To make matters worse, posts circulating on Twitter and Facebook claimed that while Greason attempted to steal a portrait in the Capitol, suffered a heart attack after he repeatedly tased himself in the scrotum. So let's see how it went down. Look at this one, pretending to be on the phone. And ask anyone who was there, did you have service? So they're trying to give CPR to Kevin Greason. I want you to notice where everyone is standing, just for placement. So they're gonna take him away. And the guy carrying him, just smiling. Make a hole. Ugh, I had $1. So they put him down and do it again. It's the same people. This is still Tyler Baggins' footage, who, by the way, sold his footage to Storyful and licensed to the New York Post. Remember that blue tape? So this tells us they're right by Obstacle 2, by the Northwest entrance.
National Guard out here.
That's not the National Guard, y'all. Tyler Baggins still lying through his crooked teeth. And now they take him away. Hurting to wonder where they're going. So now they clear some space, because they're going to set him down again. One last time. And look, fake National Guard and Sergeant Pepper are here to assist. Again, what is going on? And Legs is there too. Hey, it's Dilly. So now they bring out the Stryker Pro XT stretcher as the DC Fire Department attends to him. For clarity, we're not here to argue the fates of Greason and Phillips. But what are the chances that both of these men died of heart attacks in the same location at the same time and aided by the same people? But they take him and the defibrillator away on a stretcher trolley as fake National Guard and Sergeant Pepper lend a helping hand again. Now, let's due north and check in with Angel Walk, because we're going to do a quick perimeter sweep. Oh, now they've erected the hydraulic wedge barriers. Oh, so that's where our real cops are.
Oh, let him go.
As award-winning filmmaker and 6-time Emmy-nominated writer-director, Michael Negro makes his way to set. Back to Angel. Yep, just waiting around in the cold for further instructions. Oh, we'll see him later. And look at this shopping cart of goodies, because you're not coming to set without a Trump hat or a Trump flag, as Angel enters the Southwest Channel.
Keep moving up right, keep moving up left. We need everybody to fill in those holes so they can see us.
You'll see why the Southwest Channel is so important for harboring our actors. See how they're all paired, placed in space. Yep, just frozen, like their souls, ready to mix in with the real Trump supporters. Even after 10 minutes, our Bible friends are still here. Jesus, look who it is. Bull, on a phone call, looking all haggard. And look at this family, on their marks. There's so much room to go in, but they just stand around like the zombies they are. So let's go in further. Oh, we've got some Oscar-winning performances. Robbie! At the same time, David there, living his best life. And this footage comes from photographer foe, Benjamin Diaz, who has a lot of experience capturing these staged events. Oh, and now our photographer joins us. Now Benjamin's gonna elicit some commentary from this man-child.
I think that we should be focusing on Antifa, spraying them, and not us.
Oh, more narrative building from children.
We will not bend, we will not break.
Cringy! Take a look at these people! Cringy!
What the hell is that? Remember this one, Bono, and David's run out of things to do. Look at this guy. Just pop the gate right out, and they strike it, removing it from the set.
La la la.
So now David's on his speakerphone. Listen to what he says. And back to the main stage. So now Kano brings out his best men. Oh, just a little nudgy. Woo! When translated into kayfabe, that's just a little tickle. Now another round of Bury the Treasure as we shift your focus to the camera crew. You know, the ones who capture the lie, then packaged and sent out to you for your attention. And it works every time. Snap, snap. Oh, Kano, roiding out. Okay. You see this woman in the background picking up hats and gloves? When they break, she goes around and clears the clutter from the front lines, so we don't want anyone to slip and hurt themselves. Hey, it's Bike Cop from Act 1. Yeah, open your eyes, Americans. And here, Amy Harris giving a little love tap to John Minkelo, who reciprocates because they're all friends, just like the Republicans and Democrats. And this is a big reunion for all of our photographers. While Julio Rosas, yeah, we see you, looks for a more deceptive angle. And in comes Waterboy, waving his flag, might be on the spectrum. And this cop's just laughing. Audience, please tell me, do these cops look like they fear for their lives? What is this, Edie from Grey Gardens?
Oh, you know this is recording?
Such a friendly insurrection. Still giggling like a little schoolgirl. Oh, he's got the rosary out. I just need some garlic. Yeah, just Smiley Savannah over here. Why do you think he's posing with the rosary like that? All right, let's pause it right there for some context. Egypt, 2012. What do you think this is? What do you think they're doing? Oh, getting the pictures. That's right. It's a kayfabe photo shoot. And every time you see these kind of pictures like this abroad, they're all staged. All of them. I mean, hello, Afghanistan Taliban revival. Look, this guy forgot to die. Yeah, holding the Bible open. Oh, so sad. Notice how all the signs are in English. It's because it's for you. And you'll notice here that Morsi's name is misspelled twice. And upon further investigation, all of the protest signs appear to have been created by one person. We're going to protest until the return of the legitimate president. Sound familiar? And here's some context for your context. Morsi had won Egypt's presidential elections in 2012, and by decree, had expanded his presidential authority and removed judicial review of his decrees, which was approved in a national referendum with 33% of the electorate voting. 33, there's that number again. The opposition claimed fraud in the process and called for an inquiry. Jeez, where'd you hear that before? This resulted in, quote, violent clashes between pro and anti-Morsi protesters. And 6 months later saw the end of Morsi's presidency. Got the fake blood while the doctor checks the pulse. I bet there's one there. Later, Egyptian prosecutors charged Morsi. And during a court hearing on espionage charges, Morsi's final words were, "My country is dear, even if it oppressed me. And my people are honorable, even if they were unjust to me." He collapsed a minute later and died. No, not sketchy at all. Wonder if he was Epstein. I'm just kidding. That guy's still alive. These staged protests, complete with crisis actors, are happening in every country every single day. Allah Akbar, why? Guys, these people are poor. And they don't know what they're doing. Now, do you see how these picture poses relate to our capital friend? Same shit, different countries, same cabal. And there's your context.
Exploiting people that need the money or want the money.
Back to the clown show. So now we're on the east side of the Capitol. There ain't much going on, but we have some actors waiting. And back on the west side, the camera pans to reveal Blue unmasked. Are you listening, Gateway Pundit? Oh, so this is our time to get some really brutal shots before all of our real Trump supporters.
These guys could be like fixing our roads, fixing our electrical grids, building better friggin' infrastructure in homes instead of like surging friggin' electrical grids and causing homes to needlessly burn down, even new builds. They could be in the military. They could be law enforcement and actually noble, honorable people within the law enforcement. They could be firefighters. They could be doctors, but no, they have to be fucking asshole actors that go on scripts and do nothing good for society and bait people and incite violence and incite death and human suffering because of this stuff. Wake up. These jobs are like, it's ridiculous.
Show up. Because after this, they're going to send all of our actors down into the courtyard area. Notice how...
Sure, yes, actors are entertaining, absolutely, but there are paid, qualified actors and people that do like entertaining things with arts and stuff like that. They don't do this, right? If you want to be an artista or actor, do it in an honorable way, right? Like go to a film production crew, do it that way, you know? Be a comedian, like freaking, there's so many things that you can do. Like even with your acting career that isn't this, right? Like or like play an instrument, join an orchestra or a ballet. I don't know, but just don't do this shit, assholes.
No one reacts to the mace because it's water. And this guy's job is to just wave the flag back and forth. This is not a Wim Hof meditation. Oh God. Ooh, Pudge getting up in there. Listen to what these two frat guys say.
You fucking pepper spray us. You beat us. Fucking scumbags. Oh, yeah, you guys are pathetic. Oh, you're straight. All right, later, you fucking.
It's all fake, guys. And look at these brand new sweatshirts. Devil horns. Excuse me.
How is it? How is it?
Oh, Unabomber. A little fruity in the booty.
Hey, walk up to the front of the fucking line. Come here.
Oh, Tay-Tay taking the initiative.
Needs medical.
Oh, Cord. Looks like you have a little something in your cheek. Listen to what this cop says. Anticipating some water sports?
Just gonna make a hole in your lip, real permanent.
Ooh, shouldn't that sting a bit? Look at this guy, Edie the water boy. Like he's fighting his demons. Oh, we need a barricade over here, guys. Look, they're just standing around. A lot of waiting around, guys.
So there was water being sprayed on people for the acting and shit like that. And there was actually friggin' pepper spray and actual mace and stuff like that also being used in other areas. Like this is what I mean. This was a shit show. and it's friggin' people within government and actors like these assholes that literally made this friggin' happen, ladies and gentlemen. I can't even express enough that this needs to go viral. Please.
Well, forgot your teaser, bruh. And here, have it back. So let's see what happens if someone's in.
I live in Canada, so like I'm so censored here already. And so unless people actually like, share, and subscribe, that there's no way that these videos go anywhere. And if you look at my content, like this stuff clearly is bar none, like the like groundbreaking stuff that you're getting more accurate news than anywhere else in the friggin' world.
Injured. Oh, grandpa down. Grab your stuff. Where are we going? That's right, guys. If you are injured, you will be removed from the set.
Yeah, get me a medic.
Yeah, get him a medic. And they're going to repurpose him. Background actor down. Oh, look at this guy. Will call fisted. This is pathetic. Got it. Photo by John Minkolo.
Give me another one. Give me another one.
Yeah, just give him that fluoridated spritz.
Come on.
Well, grandma's down too. Quite literally. And if you're wondering what that is in his pocket, great controversy. The untold story behind the Vatican's rising influence in America. Yeah, Satanism. And now they take her away. It's a beautiful wig. And just like that, the grandparents are out. Sponsored by Deer Park.
There ain't no damn sense in this.
That's what I keep saying.
Bunch of fucking cowards.
Ryan Samso, eager for attention, because that's his job. Amanda Andrade Rhodes, getting in the scene, while he gets a selfie with Tay-Tay.
My wife's gonna come today.
As Data pans to Tay-Tay.
Feeling great out here.
Okay, Carson.
It's going wonderful.
Wonderful?
It feels great.
Bet those dollar signs coming your way are pretty great too.
America.
Cringe.
This is what real journalism is right here.
What do you mean by real? And now he's off to Amy.
How are you doing today?
Yeah, Amy. How's your conscience holding up?
Oh, I recognize you from Portland.
And she shakes her head. You know you're not supposed to be talking to her, Tay-Tay.
Hey.
And she ignores him. And he plays off the disc by repeating this narrative.
You got Antifa here too. You got Antifa and Trump supporters within the same vicinity here for the same thing.
You see this Antifa arrows bit on the screen? Well, this footage belongs to Taylor Hanson. You know, to implant the narrative. Think, people. And that's exactly what's going to happen. And now they bring out that missing barricade. Edie still clinging to this water bottle. Why do you think he's just standing here? Because he's waiting for all the photographers to show. And here they are. Now they can proceed. Oh, they got the lumber. So they spray him down with a little turmeric water. Now they're going to hose him down. Hey, Geeswine. If Tyler Baggins were here, he'd call this guy National Guard, who's gotten very clingy with Edie. Yep, just guiding him around like he's Ann Sullivan. You might have to Google it. Photographers look a little bit inconspicuous while they got Korn behind them, who's now become an asset. Now here's a classic move. See how he's backing up into the barricade so the cops can push him? Throw yourself to the cops. And they get the shots. As he backs it up, he's offered water, but Edie's like, bro, there's water hidden everywhere. And when you push her, give me a hi-ya. Put your back into it. Give me a hi-ya. That's it. All this imitation Bon Iver has nothing to do. And there's Rachel Powell, who we'll see later. While Savannah hoards it all for herself. Now they're gonna drag him back, like that scene from Ghost. Look at all that fake blood. Dressing the set. So they try to take his water away. But he ain't having it, because that's his life source. Maybe he has a condition. Maybe he'll make friends with Grandpa, who has all of the water. Well, let's go down there. Look at this guy in the blue. He's just gonna set the barricade back where it belongs. Now he's gonna pretend like he got sprayed. Pours water right over his sunglasses. And then does it again. Oh, he got so serious. John Minkolo going down to bring some photog friends up. And look at Pudge and all that kayfabing. But can you see what's next to him? It's John Minkolo. Remember what I said about our photographers being off limits? Well, something unexpected is about to happen to John Minkolo. In their storyline, Minkolo is literally dragged out from this area because protesters suspect him to be Antifa. But John, with his obvious press badge and cameras, has been there all day. It should also be noted that in 6 months, Julio Cortez, who is filming this scene, and John Minkolo will both win the Pulitzer Prize for these images. So we believe that John is either in on it or he was set up. You decide for yourself. I'll remember how to do that later. And now it's time for another great reset. And like Biden to a helpless minor, Pudge can't let go. Let it go. Let it go. And now, Bike Cop has changed his appearance to the Invisible Man. Yeah, Pudge, take a break, like Barbie. And below our star kayfabe photog Brendan Goonschwager, Jacob Chansley has arrived to set as he climbs the media tower. So while our real Trump supporters file in during our reset, let's make some friends. Watch this guy, kayfabing his little heart out when he sees the camera on him and self-cringes. Oh, getting a little shy. And this one. Guess she's done? What the hell happened to this guy? That guy must be friends with Karn.
You want a good picture?
You're never too old to deceive the American public. Yeesh. Okay, calm down. Get a room. Get in the pics. So compelling. Much convincing. But more importantly, what the hell is that? Wearing shorts in January. And here's my favorite kayfabe meltdown with David.
They say back to blue, back to blue. You know what black and blue is? Tear gas in my fucking eyes. That's the blue. And what are you guys doing? You guys over here. You're not even fucking reporting on it. Where's the media? Where's CNN? Where's Fox News?
Oh, they're there, brother. Okay, no one's believing you're a Christian. Who are you trying to fool, Yamaka? While they're resetting, let's do one more perimeter scan.
Why don't women like me? I'm involuntarily celibate, even though I do nothing good for society. And clearly right now I'm still a fucking sellout too. And I don't look like I hit the gym.
And over here, notice the lumber has increased. Notice this white patio umbrella. Dr. T having a smoke, sees the camera and tries to hide it, and then freezes. And here we have a very, very special guest who we'll come back to later. And behind us, we have some fake help coming. Hoorah! So let's follow them in, but we'll take a left, where Angel Wash has a surprise for us. Back on the Southwest Channel.
Flashbangs, I don't know, set off green gas. Pretty scary.
Notice something? No one's taking any video. That's right, if you're on the Southwest Channel, no phones. And our Bible bandits, yep, still faithfully cemented to their spots. It's an insurrection resurrection.
Is there any copyrights on prayers? I'm not sure. But here comes some Trump, okay. Oh, the giant Trump flag.
And here they come with the giant Trump flag. Who's that? Oh, and there's Bono escorting the flag in. Now they crowd surf the giant flag. Ooh, fun. All the way to the cops. There's Bono. Yeah, teamwork makes the scheme work. And there it is, another mini show for the kids. Well, that was uneventful. So they've got the ridiculous flag prop. Now they've got them down in the West Plaza, like the fake animals they are. Wow, what does this remind you of? Perhaps the UC Davis pepper spray incident during George Soros's controlled Occupy movement in 2011? Could it be? Nah, looking at this, doesn't it make you wonder if this was staged too? Good. Notice this TV cameraman getting it all. Interestingly enough, a judge ruled that Lieutenant John Pike, who became an overnight viral meme sensation, would be paid $38,000 in workers' compensation benefits to compensate for, quote, the suffering he experienced after the incident, end quote. Meanwhile, each pepper sprayed student received $30K. When this came out on Facebook, we were so damn mad, but now we kind of wish it was real mace. Now, let's move back over to the Washington Monument, where Jade Sacker and John Sullivan / Jaden begin their pilgrimage to the production. Sullivan is one of our major fall guys. You know, the sole reason why people believe Antifa infiltrated the protest. But look how late he's arriving.
They going inside. They're about to break inside that Capitol building.
Remember, John Sullivan knows what's going to happen, while his lady friend Jade, who's filming Sullivan for an apparent Netflix special, is left in the dark.
They broke inside.
Oh, no, they haven't. They're just waiting for you.
Yeah, no, I want to get in too. Oh, yeah, I'm going up. I'm going all the way to the top.
Don't spoil all of it. Now they're going to get their gear ready here on the Northwest lawn.
Jade, hold this shit. No?
Can't you see she's busy working for Netflix?
Thanks for the help.
Ooh, sass.
Mom told me to keep you safe.
Okay, well, I don't care.
Okay, teenager angst coming from a grown man.
Wait, do we have a code name?
No.
Here he does. It's Jaden. So as we make our way up the Northwest lawn, we discover that there are multiple porta potties, and people are using them. We even have a sanitation station set up. How accommodating. Not really sure how one could take a shit amongst all this chicanery. So let's go deeper into the belly of the beast. No, I'm not talking about Bill Gates. Oh, what's going on over here? Where's this guy coming from? And this guy. Go on, get up in there, Jade. You're safe, because you're surrounded by a bunch of distressed thespians.
I knew.
You guys gonna come in the building?
We already know the answer.
Yeah, let's go.
Whoops, spoiler alert. Back on the south side, everyone's just waiting around again. But let's learn how to correctly move someone. So we see these cops leading this man out. And then they release. Yep, more times than not, in the spotlight, we want to escort people in a kayfabe fashion. Then when no one's looking, we can drop it. And guess who's over yonder? It's Edie, the water boy, making new friends, still clutching his water. Back on the south set.
Hey, who do you work for?
Uh-oh, they're gonna get you. Notice the Twink brothers. Notice this cache of water. Notice this cache of water.
Excuse me, sir, is it true that the mustache holds the flavor in? It definitely holds it in.
And there he is, our special guest, Brian D. Sicknick, looking all healthy and calm as we direct your attention to this kayfabe photo shoot. Some kind of background with the umbrella? Yeah, well, he's not happy with his size. So he's gonna upgrade and snatch up the white patio umbrella, while this cop grabs a plank of lumber and hops over the retaining wall. And here you can see a lot of our actors hanging out over there. But why? Let's take a closer look. Yep.
I'm going to see if connecting to the US might help. Oh, what? I don't know how far we were in. I'm so sorry.
It's Mike Cernovich.
Going up on the lawn and push forward as far as you can.
Now, before we go, let's take a closer look at our line of background actors that extends north from the Garfield Monument to the Ulysses S. Grant Monument. And remember, the street closest to the Garfield Monument, First Street Southwest, and Southwest Drive have been restricted from our public for years. Yep, all these folks still waiting to go in. These are all paid protesters, people. Look at the line. And that concludes our Southwest analysis with Angel Walsh. We were very grateful to find this footage. And we thank you and your husband for capturing it. Back on the east side, we've got a little commotion. And what, pray tell, do you think was carried on this truck bed? Notice this cardboard tube for later. And they just pull the barricades down here on the South Terrace, while the cops do what they do best, retreat. It's not every day that you see Chinese grandmas contributing to your mass program. Notice our stunt guy, Homeboy, climbing up. We've got ass crack for days while we entertain the kiddies with another show. But just a little love tap sends him to the ground. As our photogs lock and load.
So that's why I didn't comment on that one either, because I didn't know if that was like a real actor or not that they had pushed off, but like, look. So, and then everyone was like, they pushed this guy off. They pushed this guy off.
Hey, I can see your price tag. So this guy in red, Bossy, is tending to Homeboy while our cops play scene blockers. While Legs and Dilly just standing there like a couple of butlers. Some shady shit going on behind that tree. Notice this oddly placed Rubbermaid container. While Rufio from Act 1 records nothing, they're off, using a barricade as a makeshift stretcher. But not before setting him down for the camera crew to photo rape him. Satisfied, Bossy and his team of cops resume their journey. See this Death 2 type? Yeah, not us. Yep, still Taylor's footage. Get those pics. And this footage, news to share, comes from, quote, photographers Alejandro Alvarez and Ford Fisher. And y'all can see for yourselves the other events they've covered. And now Bicop, looking more like himself, taunts our paid protesters as Sabrina Tavernez follows our stunt guide towards the Northwest backstage area. But listen to what Bossy says to this real person.
Hey, lady, I'm gonna break your fucking phone if you don't stop.
And strangely enough, Adam Gray opens the gates. So Sabrina's got her shots. And she, together with Amanda Andrade Rhodes, climb the Northwest lawn in search of something juicy. And along the way, we meet our friend, Vincent.
They hit me with bullets.
Oh, bless your heart. Back to Heart Attack Hillside, where Dilly's well on his way to having one. What is happening? Just a little spritz as she traipses away. But watch out. Really puts the K in karma. As Yellow from Act 1, coming down the runway with some Cape charisma.
Whose house is this? Ours house.
Attaboy. Is that how you arrest someone? And now, together with our photogs, Michael Negro and Julio Rosas, our do-gooders, Sergeant Pepper and fake National Guard, are going to move a large portion of our cops and protesters. Hey, redneck archetypes still hanging out. Incoming! Watch these two K-cops, Thelma and Dom DeLuise, just as clueless as ever. She's like, what do we do now? Out my face, get out my face. Let's keep going, Thelma. You better get. And now these heroes form a line to protect our delicate deputies. And there they go. Yeah, it's a mobile standoff, over and around to the very boring North Side entrance, where we met Vincent. Oscar.
Hey, bring it up!
K-Cops, taking a K-break. And along our journey, we meet Richard Barnett, who's going to become worldwide famous in just a few hours. And now they're going to hold here for a minute, except for these two. And now they just single file right onto the north entrance. back inside the scaffolding, where we are only seconds from defeating Obstacle 4. Hey, there's Happy. And in this overused clip, Data's about to make some money. Oh, he's got the hammer. Too bad he doesn't use it.
Here comes! What the hell? Choke slam, one on the other.
And there they go. While this guy and Lieutenant perform a lightsaber battle. And this guy gets power-aided. OMG, it's Vincent. What are you doing up here, silly? He just wants to reason with them. And with a masterly sleight of hand, Vincent pulls the barricade away and slides it down to Geeswine. Hey. And now Jade and Jaden have made it to the top. Hey, yeah. Think of Vincent like the hostage negotiator. And that they will.
We're standing up for our country.
Oh, Red.
Your country and ours. Don't get in our way.
Alive, Data. And there they go. Hey, there's Doug Jensen. It was a big Oh, you're so sweet. Let's stop our investigation here at 2:12 p.m.
I'm gonna stop sharing that. Hi, so my pajamas. I don't care. Because I want to share with you more data, and I know this is very long. It's already over an hour, but it's and it's not recorded, unfortunately. But record it yourself. This is from Woo's News again.
Well, I can do either way. This is the beginning here. It's setting up. It's going to go into the Homeland Security Evaluation Program, which discusses these types of drills that are held for these, large government response teams. And
sorry.
So that's the general breakdown of their manual. And then we go in and we're going to see just that. If anybody is familiar with the Boston bombing, there are a lot of similarities between the Boston bombing and January 6th.
Do you want us to hear what they're saying? Do you want us to hear what they're saying right now?
Otherwise, it's not going to be much for people listening.
Okay, so go back to the beginning one more time.
Actually, no, I wouldn't go back. Me personally, I wouldn't go back. I would continue.
Okay.
Where it starts the Homeland Security Evaluation Program.
Okay. All right.
But to get sound, I'm going to have to be.
All right, let Johnny run it. And will he be able to see this?
Yeah.
Johnny?
Yeah, he'll see
okay. So start it.
And let's review the scene.
You're not going to get this anywhere else. And I just found this also. And yeah, so this video is going to be like the most succinct.
With minimal volume.
You can start it there too. This is the beginning of the shooting. We're just going to watch it happen in real time.
Chaos is happening on screen yet.
And then I'm going to break it down.
Is there something going on with the video?
Yeah, it's just Odyssey normal issues. Hold on.
Yeah, Odyssey could be the best channel. It's just a little weird.
Wait, you didn't upload this? Is that what you're saying?
I did upload it, yeah.
Eyes are fixed to the woman because that's what we're here to see. No one seems to be concerned with being the next target. It's bang, action. It should be noted that everyone in the room knows what's going to happen. They all play towards the camera. Now, let's take a look at some of our characters. Adam Gray.
Oh, that's not, do you revisit that, them cheating toward the camera? Because you're so right.
Johnny, you have no clue what you're about to watch. It is shocking.
Because the camera cheating thing's so obvious when you think about it.
Rufio, Fredo, Yellow, Data, Jaden, Thomas Barani, Ninja / Evaluator, Secret Agent Man, or as I like to call him, Sam, Medic / Controller, Parrot Blocker, Shades, Red, SWAT 1 and SWAT 2, Frickin' Frack, and our star, Rabbit. We're going to break this down together, and we're going to analyze this with 6 different angles and in chronological order. Let's do this.
This video is so
This is Medic coming into the room. Notice the enormous earpiece.
Wait till you see Act 2.
What's that about? Now look what Red does. He kicks the door. Now we see Red either pick up something or drop something, and it looks like Medic does the same. And we know he's the Medic because of this patch or sticker. Here we can see Red has one glove on, and you can see Jaden in the distance. Now we're all kind of led into this room outside the speaker's lobby. We can see Medic has one glove on as well. There's Frick. Oh, hey there. And there's our star. They're just waiting around again. And you can see our star looking in the direction of the weapon. She seems amped up or nervous. And you can see we have Taylor Hansen on our left. Notice how Yellow hands Rufio the helmet. And notice while he does that, we can see Cop 2 and Fredo discussing. Almost like they're waiting for something.
Okay, we got police coming up.
Okay, we got police.
Watch this, dude.
Now Frickin' Frack come down. Rufio takes off.
Are we waiting for sound?
Changing his appearance.
No, we have
he
sound.
receives the signal.
Oh, you have sound. Okay.
Feels a little rehearsed.
That's okay. You have sound.
And you can see Adam Gray push his way through. Now this is orange in the front. You should also note that the glass is not glass, but plastic or stage glass. And you'll notice that this barricade was set up before they entered the room. You can see Barani in red to the left of the screen. In about 30 seconds, they're going to make their way to the front. Notice how our star keeps looking over to the left, as if she's waiting for something. As the officers leave, they're pretending to talk to each other. And you can see how easy this plastic comes out. You see how easy that is? Frack taps the back of Vetter. Jaden is the first one to give the command that there is a weapon at 34 minutes and 49 seconds. And you can hear others chanting the same thing.
Watch
Notice
this.
that the gunman briefly removes his hand from the weapon, like he's communicating, replying to his earpiece. Look how long it takes him to do it. Notice this person just walking in the background.
Yeah.
If we draw a straight line from where the weapon is to where our star is, you will see that they don't match up. The weapon is far below her neck area. And boom, right there. Now that's 15 seconds since Jaden announced there was a weapon. That's important. Now let's back it up 15 seconds. We can see this guy point to Orange. Orange gives a hand movement, and look, the Hollywood glass just falls right out. SWAT 1 goes to Sam. Now, why would Blue ever be in on this conversation? Blue makes his way past Yellow, where he grabs him, and you can see Barani making a hand movement. And he touches Red on the back, and Barani signals her to get into place. And she goes through, and she's ready to fall. And they all scatter. Notice this guy in the background.
Stop.
No one looks
Stop.
So fake.
Stop. Okay. We've just gotten to the shooting. Rafi, what are your thoughts
What's
at
up?
this moment? Do you have anything you want to talk about before we actually break it down? The ridiculousness of this. Any thoughts?
Well, I mean, it's just that it's ridiculous. It's what I call kayfabing, which is presenting stage performances as genuine or authentic. And so we're all kind of led into this room outside the speaker's lobby, and you'll notice that all the props behind were set up before they came into the room. Now we'll revisit this scene in Act 3 with all new footage and all sorts of new information. And I really want to talk about those now, but I'll save it for Act 3. I believe that this has been rehearsed prior to the shooting. I really do. And, you know, we're going to see Miss Babbitt's wonderful performance coming up.
So Johnny, and anybody in here, first of all, so the cops come up. What do? They do nothing. We're having a moment.
Yeah,
where supposedly felonies and democracy is at stake, right? And what do they do? Literally do nothing. They walk up the stairs, then they walk right back down the stairs. They don't manipulate anybody. They don't manipulate anything.
It seemed like when we were watching it live, because we watched it live, it seemed like people were getting arrested. There was a little like chaos. That's not what's going on here.
Yeah, this was a closed set apparently, so they couldn't.
Right. It is very close.
Okay, so everyone's going nuts. The cops come up, they do nothing. The cops start to go back down the stairs, nothing. Right? They showed up, they did nothing. Okay, we already see that the CNN plant is right there. That enough, something's up here. Why is the CNN plant exactly what the biggest event this thing is about to go down?
Well, I'd like to add that on the other side of that wall to the left, to the right, we have a major photo shoot going on in there in the house. To Fredo and Vetter. And we're going to see we're going to follow all of their paths on everybody that's in that room. We're going to follow how they got into that room, who went in first, etc.
Okay.
And I'd like to mention to you something I wanted to say for Act 3, but I'll just go ahead and say it. In the left corner, you have a young gentleman named Taylor Hanson and another gentleman named John Sullivan. And they both started their first day of work as investigative reporters or journalists, whatever you call them, on May 30th, 2020. And they live 6 miles apart in Utah. And so both of these men, one is playing the right side, one is playing the left side. And we're going to follow their complete history, not only on January 6th, but going back to May 30th, and follow them all the way into this room, which I think is very interesting. So I'm going to go on Fox News that night, I'm going to go on CNN and talk about the shooting.
Right. So this is a major event going on right now. And this is going on the news. Now, what he's also talking about is everybody there is being filmed and having pictures taken of them. Like, it's crazy, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
And none of these photographers in any way seem
And this is the end of, to me, the January 6th fake surrection is very similar to a haunted house. You get a group of people to come in, and then a group, I'll go through the house, and once they've gone through, then we bring the next one. This shooting will signify the end of the interior photo shoots of the fake surrection, with the exception of a photo shoot going on in the Senate with Jacob Chansley and Luke Vogelson.
Okay.
And Korn. which you'll learn about corn in Act 2.
Okay. So right now we're at the point where Ashley Babbitt decides to step up and try to go through the window. And we've already, Rafa has already said the lie of the that we're supposed to believe is Ashley Babbitt is in no way lined up with her body. I mean, we're supposed to think she gets in the neck and line up at all. So can you?
Would you like I give you a spoiler alert?
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of people know this, but then not the actual of her death, which was changed in April, I believe. We have a new medical examiner come on scene on, I believe, January 28th. And there are quite a few in the manner in which they died, including Ashley. His death was an injury to the left anterior shoulder.
What?
So I just that was correctly, but I wanted to get it to you now.
That's the official. And she threw out. Okay. Now, guys, what you're about to watch is just pure theater. I mean, it's like, even if, let's just say in Bizarre World it's real, it's the most absurd theater you'll ever watch. So here, let's start again. So this is the line drawn from where the gun line is to where Ashley Babbitt.
Where our star is, you will see that they don't match up. The weapon is far more area. Now that 15 seconds, Jaden announced the weapon. That's important. Let's back it up 15 seconds. We can see the guy going to orange. Orange gives a hand movement. And look, the Hollywood glass just falls right out. SWAT 1 goes to Sam. Now, why would Blue ever be in on this conversation? Blue makes his way past Yellow, where he
Guys,
grabs
look what's
him.
going on.
There's
chaos
making
going
a
on.
hand movement, and he touches her on the
Yeah,
back.
for the listeners,
And
I
Ronnie
mean,
signals her
what we're seeing is
They scatter. Notice this guy.
Well, just a tiny bit, Johnny. The shot has happened. The shot has happened. Have you ever shot a gun? Anybody here?
Of course.
Yeah.
Right. When you go to the gun range, what do they make you wear?
Oh, I have never done it at a range. I just do it in
Right.
the woods.
Headphones.
Right. Shot is stuck, right? Now, Johnny, anybody here? Have you been anywhere near where somebody's been shot?
I was in the house.
You were in the house.
Yeah.
When somebody got shot.
Yeah.
Did you hear the
They were
shot?
outside, yes.
Did
I
it
could hear
startle you?
You jumped to the
Probably not.
I've been near two fatal shoots. The first one was at the Comedy Store when Tiffany Haddish went so long we were giving her actions on who won and who lost of the roast battle that the show went over 30 minutes and they got shot on the patio. So nobody's there.
You were there?
I was there.
Jesus.
So the first time I was near Tiffany, I was turned down. I was at the Comedy Union on Pico. It's an urban club, or as the guys from the 90 call it, a black club. Okay.
Yeah.
So it's just me and all black people. 2 doors down at Landwood Shop, a guy gets shot. Pop, pop. The entire club, the lobby is full. The entire club, I'm standing there going, what the hell just happened? They all look around going, hey, get down. So I get down. And then everyone goes, okay, it's clear. They get the entire room of black people. Because it was we can get into the whole story of that. But that's how shocking a shot is, right? When somebody gets shot near you, it is a cow. It is fight and flight gets kicked in and is get away from danger as quickly as you can.
You expect there's gonna be shots fired.
100%.
Oh, and in an enclosed space like this, it would be even worse. I mean, it's just so loud.
Chaos. Okay, so the shot happens. Let's see this.
In the direction of the gunman. Yellow gets into
Does anyone go nuts? Let's see.
Right when she
She's
goes up, he
hit.
turns his
She
back.
falls.
It doesn't make sense that Rue's came to breaking the door.
They're not even afraid there might be more shots getting fired.
Orange gets a hand movement. And look, the Hollywood glass just falls right out. SWAT 1 goes to Sam.
Official police conversation and then just some protesters in on it.
And he touches right on back. And Barani signals her to get into place. And she goes through and she's ready to fall. And they all scatter. Notice this guy in the background. No one looks in the direction of the gunman.
That's such a weird.
Nobody reacts.
They do turn a little bit.
That makes sense.
Not a real reaction.
But nobody goes, hey, what the fuck?
Only to step up and turn his back. In this angle,
Look at this
Rufio
guy.
turns
All
to take a peek.
Clear people have experience with firearms.
And Ninja automatically puts his hands up. Also, notice when she falls back, her backpack looks fairly plump. A perfect day for a fall. And you'll see Yellow breaks her fall with his foot. And here you can see the plastic glass. Red gets out of the way. And interestingly
Okay,
enough, Ronnie
now
moves down just to touch
she's
her.
been
Just
shot.
to touch her right.
Where's
her what? To his left, he's about under her right shoulder. At the same time he does it, SWAT 1 briefly squeezes her right hand, or he's putting something in there.
What is that?
But Sam picks her up. She puts her hands in front of her face. She opens her right there, and she just puts her hands out. She sat down, and her elbows go down. As Data and Orange move into place. Now Sam's gonna make a big hand movement. His left hand is still
Where's
under
the
her right
blood?
shoulder. Give her a back massage.
Where's the blood?
And look how she's laying. She's still got her right leg since the whip and all. And here you can see her curl the side of her mouth while a drop of blood runs out from under her nose, which takes less than 16 frames. Here's in real time. Blood. And there it is. And she has her hands like she's to get a shadow puppet performance. It's an interesting face to make. No suffering. It's like boom, instant death. She's
Stop,
basically
Johnny.
using
Thoughts.
No, I mean, it's bizarre. But I mean, I do. The blood thing. Where was the entry one? And was there an exit one? Do we know about that?
For the first month, and they changed it to her shoulder
Because of these inconsistencies, you're assuming, right?
I changed it as well.
I mean, like you think behind the scenes, probably it's because of these inconsistencies being discovered by you, right?
Well, I mean,
Certainly
as
possible, right?
as film begins, the footage begins to come out. They got to
That's what I
answer
mean. Yeah,
questions.
that's what I'm saying.
Like, it must happen like about it, right?
But I mean, this is just insane.
I will say, I mean, I remember in college we read the study of wounds from the wars and stuff, and yeah, I mean, it is possible to get shot. There's no wound, just to bleed internally. But
my thing is
no blood at all.
So I mean, yeah, I mean, you hear stories about people dying, I mean, they've been shot, and they're getting like pulled off the battlefield, and they're just dead, and they're like, there's no blood. But I mean, but I'm not. That's so. I think there's way weirder shit about this than no blood.
Okay.
Like one, for instance, when did you shoot one shot?
Yeah.
That's so.
You hear bullets, you still start shooting.
Yeah,
The cops usually do. They hear one.
I think that learned from every stop. It's like I just shoot him 45,000 times.
And they're, I mean, probably using those police rounds that are designed to break up, inside the body. So it's entirely possible that.
Okay,
there was no
so
blood
let's just say that. So we have a shot. Nobody. So someone's got shot. Somebody grabs them and pulls and yanks them over. That's weird.
Like you said, what is it then?
I don't know.
Flight or flight?
Yeah, fight or flight.
You're not picking no one over, right?
Yeah.
Unless they're your sister, unless your wife, you get and it's not supposed to be a crowd of people.
So if you're in a situation where law enforcement has now, are you sitting around?
Dude,
If you know
I
that's
am
on
out
the
of there.
table, yeah, me too, bro.
I mean, you're nice. I mean, they don't care about anybody because they don't care about that person.
Yeah, crazy. Yoshi, any thoughts?
I mean, just pointing a gun alone would make me run away. It just seemed
exactly
strange.
Yeah.
And you're right. When I was a kid, my uncle got punched in the grover, and the guy reached over the cash register, I got a gun and shot him, but I missed. No, I mean, I'm a family small pistol right there, and this is how bad I am. I'm pointing at him. I'm not that far. I still miss. Hit myself. So my uncle and I were both bleeding. I got scared. That sound is so loud, and it's a little pistol. I don't understand just hearing that sound, that alone.
Why did you tell this story when he asked if anybody had heard a gunshot? It's the best story I've ever heard in my life.
No, but just seeing a gun alone. Somebody say something. This kid, I chased him, and I got close to him. He turned around and see me chasing after him. Mentally, I catch it, but my body just shut down. Just did a quick U-turn. Seeing a pistol, I'm telling you. So it's very strange to me that that's weird.
It looks shit. Somebody just shot. They fall backward, and wait till you see. Now it thins for maybe a second,
Yeah,
and then it's chaos again. Somebody just got shot.
and I didn't follow it. To be honest, I didn't follow it deeply, but all I remember was she got shot in the neck. This is really strange in that shoulder now. I don't understand. Strange.
You say thin. I disagree. I think it get into place. I think key people come back and key people come in. Because if you watch what you're about to see, you're going to see each person taking their cue. And thinking about what you said about gunshots, I have to say, them sometimes, and every time I do, even all the way up here, it is fine.
Yes.
So I can only imagine what that's like outside the speaker's lobby, and there's no blood on the wall. There's no entrance going into the which would go into the house on the right. There's nothing like that.
That's crazy. Okay, play again. Here we go. Okay, here we go.
While to Sam's right. There's Ninja. And Ninja's been there all along. And he comes down with him. And it almost looks like she has a smile on her face. It's almost like a Mona Lisa. And she's holding her right hand clenched like she has something in there. Now you have SWAT 1 coming in, playing a scene blocker. And notice how Rufio is just clamoring over SWAT 3 because there's quite a bit of photographers in that room. Now look, frickin' Frack. He grabs him in the back and he puts his hands up. See how he just grabs him and he puts his hands up? They were friends earlier, remember? And look at Barani. Okay, guys, I'm just gonna pull out my phone. And notice how he looks at his hand. He's gonna do that a couple times. And there's a reason for that. So now SWAT 1's making his hand movements, you know, the big pointing. And now he's gonna put up his weapon. And he does this little dance with his knees. Thumbs up, like he's pretending to talk to someone. And he's like, thumbs up, and now Data moves in. He clumsily takes his book bag off. Now here it gets really strange. With the exception of her nose, at this time code we see there's no blood on her. 3517. We're gonna see her pop in right there. Nothing. 3521. But wait, boom. 3525. 4 frames. That's 4 seconds. And now it looks like she's devoured some small woodland creature. Now you love how blood defies gravity. But how is that possible? Let's back it up 4 seconds. Now watch. Notice how
I
Sam
just saw
moves his
that.
left hand from her right backpack area, and he goes to grab her hand like she's doing a peace sign. With her hand, dips it in. Look at that movement. Now you can see him move his hand across her face. But look, she moves her wrist into his hand first. It kind of looks like she's smearing blood on her face. Or putting something in her mouth. But you can see the movement. And he swats her hand down. Then he forcefully turns her head to the right. It's hard to see if those are her fingers or if she's holding on to something. Now Sam gets up and all he's doing is just pointing. Look, well, I guess my work here is done. They're both pointing at the same time because it makes for good pictures. You've got the drama, you've got the pointing. And now this blood is just gushing out of her mouth. Don't make no sense. Do you hear that? Y'all murdered this person? It's only been 21 seconds since the weapon went off. Grabbing him, like, what are we gonna do? And notice he has a full beard.
And 2 masks on.
Normally have full beards? Maybe. Okay. He's also double masked. Ooh, such a secret. And they just keep pointing. Look, SWAT 1, SWAT 2. We can see that Yellow has changed his appearance as well. And so Data does these big gestures. She's still got her damn hands like she's playing a scarecrow or something. And this guy coming in, he's a parrot blocker. And he's saying, move, move. Data just looks up. He's like, medic, scalpel. All the while, Ninja's still back there, just monitoring everything. Data is just still fumbling through his bag, not looking for anything in particular. Everybody's just kind of moving around her. We have an active shooter. How original.
Get her down.
Get her down. She is down, bro. God, it's so cringy.
Get the light, flashlight.
Here's the thing.
Give her a flashlight.
Guys,
Out of all
stop,
things.
stop. There is blood. There's blood, but there's no running blood. Right?
Yeah, it's just pretty fucking. It's drying up at this point.
But you have a shot. So even if what Johnny's saying about people on the battlefield, right?
Well, there's a million things that can happen with a bullet. Is all I'm saying.
Right. But if blood's coming out, isn't blood coming out? Is it just going to stop bleeding? And then he's totally right when he goes, how it breaks gravity, because the whole time she's looking towards the camera and this side is up. Why would it bleed down that way and go against gravity? It's fucking weird. Johnny, you can jump in with skepticism.
I don't have anything to say.
All right, play.
About that.
Flashlight will enhance the drama of the photos, and it draws the eye down towards the light. Where's she?
She's still alive right there. She just moved her
No
mouth.
one really knows. And that's when she opens her mouth, like she's spitting it out. You can see she has blood on her fingers. But when do we see her ever touch that area? And Data taps her left hand and she puts it down and like flicks something away, fixes something out of her hair. It's unclear if Data is contributing to the blood effects or if he's just a scene blocker. You can see SWAT 1 knees her right arm closer to her, and then she tucks it under her right butt cheek. So this is the medic. He identifies himself as the medic. Notice that wonderful earpiece he has on. And let's see the various ways he tries to save her. Medic puts his water bottle down. SWAT 1 just grazes her. Everybody's just grazing her. Parrot blocker getting up in there. And so Medic pulls down the flag that's tied around her neck. And notice he only had one glove coming into the room, which is very interesting. Look, when he does this move, she opens her mouth briefly, or she says something. So he's only using one hand, and she just lets some of the blood out of her mouth.
Can I just say one thing as a non-skeptic? I remember hearing from someone who worked in an ER about it. They were like critiquing things that happen in movies that you never see in real life, and they were talking about how uncommon it is for somebody to bleed from their mouth from any kind of injury. Like it's so uncommon for blood.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but it's cinematic. So you see it in movies all the time.
Shit!
It was in one of these videos about things that you see in movies that you don't see in like ERs, actual ERs, and it's bleeding from the mouth, which you see for anything in a movie. People just bleeding from the mouth constantly. So
shit!
That would explain why there's no blood anywhere else. It's just their mouth because it's visually striking. Interesting.
Thank God for
Really?
capsules.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
her eyes are. She's where before she was just looking straight ahead. At the same time, you can see them just hanging out. And here comes the scene blocker cop. Now Ninja's either just making hand movements for the camera or he's giving directions to SWAT 1. And SWAT 1 is just fumbling around with this little napkin, this little toilet in a baggie. Notice how Medic tucks this what looks to be a cell phone in between Data's knees. It appears Data takes the cell phone away with him. Did you see that? What is Parrot Blocker pulling from her hair? And here he puts it into his pocket. Parrot Blocker shouts to SWAT that he's a medic, yet does nothing. You can start to see.
Can I just, I'll read this.
I'm a medic.
15 years as a combat medic with the Royal Marines here. Don't recall seeing blood coming from the mouth for any chest or abdomen gunshot wounds, even if they were shot in the lungs. An open injury to the lungs will usually become a sucking chest wound. And anyway, this guy, this is like a medic saying that. It's just so uncommon for, with gunshot wounds to see blood coming from the mouth like that.
Sounds like he'd know. Sounds like he'd know.
Theatrical.
Yeah,
Damn, Johnny, with the kill shot.
Oh, blood, like the size of a cookie.
Look at that.
Right where Sam's hand was. That's when they all come out. We gotta get EMS here, guys.
Now, he's very attractive. Looks like husband material. And he's a sellout to humanity. You know what I mean? Like, this is like so annoying. Like, I want a husband, but I don't want that.
Just randomly puts his hands up. The cops have been next to him this whole time. And now he's putting his hands up. It's for the camera.
She's dead. I caught her on her eyes. Her eyes lighted.
Did you hear Jaden? Because he keeps repeating it over and over. He's saying the light faded from her eyes. They're all gaslighting because they know the audio is going to be recorded. So they're all kind of pointing and overacting and fumbling in their little corners. 3621, Taylor Hanson smiles. Look at Shades. And Fredo has no one to talk to. He's got nothing to do right now. SWAT 1 and SWAT 2 are still fumbling with this stupid fucking bag.
Nothing's happening. Nothing is happening.
Pretty typical of that building, actually.
Everybody's grabbing her neck.
And by now, if there was an actual medic, and I was an infantry officer for 15 years, PPCLI, and I have advanced medical training, obviously, and I had to be current, and I still am current, and like her clothes would be cut, okay, and she'd be exposed, chest exposed, and it's just a reality of friggin' treating casualties.
That's Medic's hand. Do you hear the scrunch as he squeezes?
Like her handkerchief and stuff like that, that would have been off, right? So if anyone wants to correct me on this, please do. But I feel like it's just to hide a lot of shit. Like that's why these are left there.
The medic comes in. It almost looks like medic hesitates, and then he comes in. Now we see this very small pool of blood. See how there's just a small passive blood stain? It leaves no trail or indication of a direction. There's no spine, satellite, or elongation tails. There's no cast off. There's no arterial spray or expirated spatter, which makes the use of a blood squib in her backpack and around her neck the most plausible explanation, which could be why during this whole ordeal they never untied the flag. She's gone, man. We're gonna see that cap. Black hat cap. He's still just looking for her pulse, but he just declared that she wasn't there. And now look, he clearly has blood on his fingers. And he turns his fingers around and looks at them. And he just wipes them on the flag. Look, he just wipes them on the
So if Ashley wanted to be a true friggin' actor, she would have showed her boobies. Take one for the team. If you want this to be realistic, let us see your tits. Show us your tits.
flag. And he moves it out of the way. And that's when SWAT 1 comes in with his little towelette. Dab, dab, dab. Dab, 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 dab. Like this is fucking ASMR or some shit. At the same time, he snaps another photo. Ronnie's faking a call. Look at his hand. And there's Jaden. And Ninja just his way up.
By the way, this guy faking a call is in the window where the gunshot came from.
Yeah.
Like, who knows if the gun's going to come back? You
Yeah,
know what I mean?
why
It makes
are you standing right there?
So crazy. It is.
Refer to us. Scene blocker, cop blocks, parrot blocker. Hey, what's going on? Who's that? Who's that? Radio. Maybe he'll call for help.
So these are guys like that Sam Tripoli, and I know I'm sorry, like I'm making this like run late, but like they would like run away from bullets and stuff like that. Like I was born and raised in the country, so like shooting, like hearing gunshots, like it doesn't scare me. And I was in the infantry, so like that stuff doesn't scare me, nor do I run away from that stuff, obviously, because I'm also like I was trained not to run away from that stuff and to be able to respond and react, like even when like under duress. And so, but like so these guys with like no experience with this stuff, and saying that they would run away from this stuff, like even they're calling out so much blatantly obvious, very clear acting going on, right? And so like this should make it like unknown to people. Like we are not as dumb as you think. So anyone that's worked in government, like any form of friggin' government with any level of friggin' training, is likely easily able to call this stuff out as well.
No one's doing anything. The medic
Nobody's
stands
doing
up.
anything.
See, he's the medic.
Look busy.
Sticker, and
Look
there's Adam
busy.
Gray taking all the photos. And it appears the clock reads 2:47. Fredo still has nothing to do. Now look,
This is why you got to get union workers if you want acting. You know?
Frick sees the camera and begins acting again.
Oh, sorry. No.
What?
You guys got me calmed down.
Photo 4. Yeah, not that much. Now that's Yellow saying that. Oh, Vetter, bless your heart. And then Rufio with his hand on top of his head, like, oh, it's such a shame. Oh,
No, why are you still there?
Red. There's the famous photo.
Oh, there it is.
Has anyone seen an iPhone?
Yeah, this guy's trying to find his iPhone.
It also looks like there was a barricade on this side of the door to make sure that the action happened on this and the attempt was on this side, just to make sure, extra precautions.
Well, someone's
Nobody's
dying and you're worried about your
Everybody's hanging
iPhone.
out. Angry lady number 1. She's just there to scream at them. Now notice there's
Some
still
things
taking
are worse
photos
than
of her in
death,
the background,
actually.
yet no one has
Choosing your
done
iPhone.
anything.
No one said anything. No one said a thing.
Hanson in the background. He's got his footage. This is, oh no, we'll see him later. Barani motions to medic, and now Fredo motions for Bike Cop 1. Look, more pointing, more big hand movements. Do you see any blood on Sam right now? He put gloves on, and he's got little paper towels or something. Maybe it's a script. They're still just getting all the pictures. Shades is making his big hand movement.
Sorry, I'm trying to see what time it is on that clock. Is that like the little hand and the big hand?
Oh, he's grabbing Barani, but notice Barani puts his hand on his back. Or he grabs him.
Can someone tell me what time it is on that clock?
And he lets go. Big hand movements. It's Jazz Fingers. And there goes Adam Gray. What's up, bro? Who later gets fake arrested. And then Red is pushed out with Data. See, they've already made one. And look how uniform they are. Looks like they made it just in time, even though they don't go out that way. And there she goes, with her book bag and flag still wrapped around her. Luckily, they don't have that far to go. Just right out that door. Is that normal? Is that normal protocol? You would think if it was as easy as for everybody else to get into the Capitol, it would be for paramedics. Now we see Sam on the other side of the door, and we see he's littered his
carried her
latex
out?
gloves on the Capitol floor next to the blood. No one would ever do that, unless it was to add drama to the photos. So that's our pool of blood. That sad, pathetic pool of blood. This is classic.
Dude,
this guy's just stepping in it.
Oh, dude.
Guys, you can't make this stuff up. I think he does do
Play
it
the
intentionally,
Keystone
because
Cop.
it creates a transfer pattern.
This is the OJ crime scene?
It adds drama to the photos. He intentionally does that. Is that a cop? Come on, guys. Is that a cop? Are these cops? And now they put the black ski cap over the blood. They've got the photos. And that's the guy who stepped in it, now changing his appearance. And those are the sad, pathetic droplets from one malfunction squib. Now, let's take a look at the aftermath.
Dude, this is.
Oh no. And so they're all just echoing the same thing over and over again. They're getting everybody to spread the word.
They just killed the girl. They just shot a girl right in the goddamn stomach.
I thought it was supposed to be stomach.
They shouldn't kill. They shot a girl in there. They shot a girl.
This is like the cringe hour.
Jail.
They shot a girl.
But listen
guy
to
should
what
be in
this
jail.
lady says.
See it, but they shot a woman. Acting. They acting.
That's amazing. It completely validates everything we're doing here.
She was calling it out. You know, people were calling it out. This is bullshit.
And notice coming down the stairs like a damn 80s movie, Thomas Barani with his hand up. He's about to stop on the stairs and just start screaming.
Shot her.
And then no one's going to pay attention.
Jail.
Wow. And now he caught somebody's attention.
Shot her with a gun through the neck. She fell back into my hand.
Bro, why are you lying? Oh, don't you mean your hand fell back into her book bag? Man, this guy's such a creep.
Not talk anymore.
Oh my god.
This is too much.
This is too much.
Look at him. Here he is again.
They shot her in the neck. And she fell back on me and started saying she was fine. It's cool.
God.
And then she started kind of like moving weird.
Okay, that's
His parents must be so proud right now. Like, is his father in the picture? Like, you know,
true.
It could have been me, but she went in first. This could be you or your kids.
Jesus. And here they're whisking her away on a stretcher. Notice these highlighter badges on all of
That's
them.
what he is.
Tell me what these are. And maybe you can
She's
tell me.
dead.
What this
Now they're
waistband
giving her
is.
air. Come on, bro.
Ooh, it looks like they did a touch-up. He totally has his hand on her boob. And you can see she's clearly still alive. And notice all of these van shuttles in the background. Hey, look, it's SWAT 1. What was that about? Even Taylor Hanson got a spot on TV.
And the minute that she hopped up in that pain, she had no idea that he was even there.
No, she only had a 15-second warning. Bruh. From the first scream to her taking it to the neck. 15 seconds.
He shot her right in the neck.
Oh, now it's her neck. Hopefully Jaden will get it right.
Yeah, so Basically, all the protesters kind of stormed to get into the chamber.
And perhaps our last clip is most telling of all. Here's Jaden.
They killed a girl. They killed a girl. I dead ass out of there on camera. They shot her. I seen the shit on camera. They had on camera. I guess.
Okay, stop it for a second.
I got it all.
So what do you think, guys? Can you see?
So one thing I want to get to one thing we didn't see at the point that we started playing this video that Rafi brings up that's very, very telling. But so you're in a place, we're all together. Somebody gets shot, right? Let's say we're all together and Mark Steves, the booker of the show, decides to storm up into the.
We have Bill Keane, who is parent blocker, identifies himself as the medic, but also the man-child that you saw, Thomas Ferrani, with his hand up. He's going to, in another interview, he's going to identify himself as a medic as well. And throughout the January 6th fake insurrection, we're going to hear a lot of that type of identification. I'm a medic.
Well,
So,
does it
I thought that was very interesting.
does it that for some reason let you be at the Capitol if you're a medic, kind of like being a reporter?
What do you mean?
Does being a medic?
None of these people were supposed to be in there.
Yeah, but I mean, does it give you a little bit more leeway if you say you're a medic?
No.
No. Okay, I'm just
But
wondering.
this
No,
was
I'm just
supposed to be
wondering.
an unplanned. This is supposed to be an unplanned organic event. Why do we have some of our most famous photographers in the entire world, and now all these medics, and all these kayfabe actors? They're there an entire hour before Trump has even finished speaking. The kayfabe show is in its peak when it's by the time the Trump supporters get there.
You mentioned the photographers. Now, do you think that they were just told there's going to be something worth photographing that's about to happen, or
Absolutely.
You don't think they got specifics?
I think, yeah, I do think a lot of them got specifics. You're going to see, more so in Act 3, you're going to see certain groups, certain pairs of kayfabe protesters huddle off and go into a photo shoot with our photographers.
Oh, okay.
And there's hundreds of them there, and they're all been identified, especially in Act. If you guys ever watch Act 2, you'll get a big heaping dose of that.
Hey guys, real quick, I want to tell you about our when they need Crystal. Anything else?
Medical person back. Keep going.
That guy randomly shows up.
Okay, around here, but a little more forward.
Is that how you move a critically injured person that's been shot in the neck?
I had dozens of emails from medical personnel from all over the world explain to me how inaccurate that this is. You know what? I think I may have told you to go
too far,
forward too much. Yes, I apologize.
Okay. Well, as you're looking for,
it's right when they're escorting everybody out of the room.
Okay.
It's more forward than this.
So, dude, this is any thoughts, Yoshi?
You know what I was thinking? Do you know this guy, Vladislav Surkov?
Vladislav Surkov. No.
He is for years Vladimir Putin's advisor.
Oh, nonlinear warfare?
Yeah, he his background's theaters. So a lot of time he even assists the people that hate Putin to confuse everyone. But I look at this like it doesn't matter what you show, people are going to see one thing or another, right? If they hate Trump, this is like real.
Yeah.
And people,
one of my best friends reads tons of books on January 6th.
Yeah.
He just can't stop reading. I'm kind of at a place where I just don't want to fight with people. If at this point you still believe everything, I can't do anything for you. I love you. You're my favorite.
If you have enough ambiguity, that was just enough to confuse people. But it does look like a really bad acting. I'll be honest. It's like Jesus.
I mean, are you still watching to see if we can see him?
I do have it.
Yeah, I am.
So you don't think any?
It's coming up.
You don't think any of those people there were actual protesters? Were actually there because they were for Trump or for whatever reason? Y'all think they were?
Oh, pause it. Let it. Just let it play. I'll get a better shot of it. No, I believe that they all know what's going on. I believe that
the ones in
scene
this
was
room,
rehearsed.
to be clear, but not.
And there he is, right there. Pause it. Go ahead. Right there to the left with the glasses and the hat.
Oh, that guy?
With the beard. Yep.
Okay.
Oh,
That's Taylor Toronto. So 2 weeks ago, he came out and he said, it's a 2-hour interview that he did with Defender Vance. I was just made aware of this very recently, and I watched the entire interview, and I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. So I can send that to you if you'd like as well.
That's
that interview.
crazy. That's so.
But yeah, he goes on to say that she's acting, that Jaden X is acting, that she's acting terribly. He doesn't believe she's dead, and he believes they use fake blood.
You gotta be,
which we've seen,
borderline stupid to come out and say that stuff. When they're throwing people in jail for nothing, people who didn't even go in are getting like 20 years in jail. Like,
yeah, a good friend of mine.
Telling the truth shouldn't get you jailed.
Mine, Alan Hofstadter, was just found guilty, and he's one of those peaceful Trump supporters that showed up an hour later. And I believe that this is why they had January 6th. It's a big honeypot to get all these people who would possibly defy this type of government or future type of government, and put them all in jail. People who get the people to come out, the people that would defend the Constitution, get them in jail.
Not
all
only
the while you're parading around all these crisis actors and the shit show, and that's what people come to see. That's the headlines. That's the feed.
Not only in jail, but at least to track them down. At least to be like, oh, this person's willing to come in from Nebraska for this shit. Like we got to keep him on the list.
Yeah. Who's gonna show up? I totally agree.
And wasn't it? Am I wrong about this? Prior to this whole incident,
Not in this show, you're not.
Didn't President Trump say we want peaceful?
You gotta watch yourself when it comes to Trump and that stuff, because he could be.
No, he said it's going to be wild. He said it's going to be wild.
Well, you remember when he was when the first time he started getting indicted on stupid trial stuff? What was he like? Oh man, come to the streets, get in the streets, burn it down. He's like, that's the whole thing, man. Now
it's all theater.
Yeah, dude. Because it followed
that this is a genuine storming of the Capitol.
It's just such a mess. I mean,
that may be different. That may be different coming up now. You know what I mean?
Well,
that's why we're here.
Yeah.
The only reason I pushed back that it was a complete success, you're right, they did get some of their bills, and that's kind of how they do it. Like, they'll do OKC bombing, and then what they couldn't clean up, they'll get 9/11, right? So there might be another shoe yet to drop on this, but this becomes, this was to get the ball rolling. Now, they tried to get, basically a misinformation czar out of this, because they tried to say all this misinformation was destroying democracy. They can't do that anymore because everyone's realizing that the government's lied more than anybody. So it's just
you should see what they're running now. Deep fakes.
What do you mean?
Deep fakes for the election. Deep fakes are coming. Deep fakes. You don't know what to believe. That could be a fake Trump video, a real Trump video, a fake Biden video, a real Biden video. And now I'm like, how about when the fucking Frazzle drip comes out?
Oh, that's why I think this is all.
Oh no.
I think
I saw Mission Impossible 2 yesterday, and
it looks like a straight up FBI. That was up with that. But the one thing I wanted to.
It is off.
But here's the thing. We'll get into it. And we saw. You remember the Afghanis?
It got destroyed.
Oh, the Iran.
And then I'm gonna work on Act 3, which could take a couple months. But after Act 3, I want to get into the David Crowley story. And if you guys remember, David Crowley was a filmmaker. This was in 2012, and he created a trailer called Gray State, and he became so popular overnight, and with the We Are Change movement and Alex Jones movement, and
story was crazy.
The Ron Paul movement, And then 2 years later, he was found dead, and his wife was found dead as well, and his daughter. And by the end of that night, they had claimed it was a homicide-suicide, that he killed his wife and his daughter, and then himself. Yet, if you read the police report, when the last page, which was closed in August of 2015, they say that we have no evidence to tie him to this case. But yet that night that they found the bodies on January 17th, they were already calling it a homicide-suicide. So this is a cold case of mine, and I'm going to be working on that.
January 17th is 0117 or 7/11. I've talked about that before as well.
After Act 3.
Fascinating.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, you crushed it. Thank you very much for
Okay, so I am still in my pajama. Oh, you can't even see me. Anyway, I got up early, around 3:30, and I just wanted to share information before it was taken down. And I'm going to carry on with that with the video that I was shared originally, this one, because there is real truth in this as well.
The mainstream media actually started a rumor that that one of them tased themselves to death.
The cop grabs him and throws him back. See, watch. Tries to reach in, pull him out. The cop grabs him and throws him back into that corner. Nope, you stay right there. We want you where we can beat you. And then what happens from there, as you can imagine, they throw him back into the corner, and they proceed to beat him. You see the one guy in the yellow right there who's reaching over and beating him with a stick. The other riot cops to the left are reaching over and beating him with a stick. Now he's cowering in the corner down on the ground, covering up, trying to reduce the blunt force trauma. That's rage.
The officer with the white shirt at the foreground, the bottom right, he's got this baton, and he just keeps hitting over and over and over again. So Joseph, I'm seeing this officer in the white with the baton hitting dozens of times. I don't know if he's trying to target one person, but it looks like he's trying to inflict damage on someone.
That is correct. He is without question inflicting damage on Victoria White.
Victoria White's attorney, Victoria White's attorney, Joseph.
Right now, she's asking him to stop. She is bleeding right there. You can see it on the white piece of clothing behind her. There's blood all over it. She is obviously in distress. She is obviously defenseless. Look at that. Look at that. This is a grown man. That is
Tear gassing them and beating them. So there's footage that exists that people have not seen, and when they see this footage, it's going to really help change the narrative.
A bunch of President Trump's supporters are still rotting in jail cells, still being denied bail, not brought to trial yet, denied their basic rights as American citizens, abused, tortured, denied their basic rights as human beings. And don't be surprised if these psychopaths who run DC try keeping some of these patriots locked up for all 4 years of this fake installed Biden regime. The Obama administration.
There are people that were part of the Freedom Convoy that was bought for and paid for, staged, planned. They planted people in all areas, and there's people that are still in jail. Not the people that were inciting it or fun. I just can't.
And they'll do it just for the sick thrill of it. Jake Lang, who we spoke to not long ago, is one of those political.
And they'll likely, like Justin Trudeau, like unless he resigns or a new political party goes in, like these people are going to stay in jail as political prisoners for trying to be helpful to Canada and Canadians.
Prisoners being held in the DC gulag. He was arrested almost immediately after January 6th, so he's already been rotting in there for a whole year now. And these worthless courts have repeatedly refused to let him out on bail while his trial is pending. Keep in mind that right now in DC, more than 90% of criminals are let out with no bail whatsoever. They're just let back onto the streets. In DC, more than 90% of criminals are let out with no bail whatsoever. They're just let back onto the streets. Where, of course, a lot of them continue committing crimes because, hey, why not? In New York and in San Francisco and in Philadelphia, mentally ill vagrants are left totally unchecked until finally they just kill somebody. And keep in mind that last summer, thousands of Antifa and Black Lives Matter domestic terrorist goons assaulted police, targeted them for assassination, threw Molotovs at government buildings, lit fire to occupied police precincts, burned down churches, destroyed staple corner stores, raped people, assaulted people.
Crazy.
Caused $12 billion in damage over the summer of 2020 in just a 3-month period in the name of a career criminal, home invading thug. And sure, many of them got arrested, but almost all of them were released immediately without bail.
Was January 6th different from other protests around the country that had occurred previously that spring and that summer? And if so, how?
Following the death of George Floyd, there were, from what I have calculated, 537 different protests or riots where property damage was done and or other crimes were committed. Of those 535 plus riots, that happened in a 10-week span. So there was approximately 50 or more of them happening throughout our country on a weekly basis, with over billions of dollars in property damage being done. This is one day, one afternoon.
Damage, and it was death by fentanyl overdose.
Where there are a handful of officers.
And George Floyd, again, it's obviously tragic what happened to him. I condemned it since the very friggin' beginning. People are calling him a hero and stuff like that. I'm sorry, but he was a child rapist, and this is on the record, convicted and charged with multiple accounts of raping, and even and a disabled woman as well. No.
As opposed to over 2,000 officers alleged to have been injured. And on this one day, there is about $1 million in property damage as compared to over $2 billion. So as far as a breakdown, this is one afternoon, one day that ultimately was not what it was intended to be, that spun completely out of control.
By design.
We begin tonight with a nation already on edge in the coronavirus pandemic as protests turn violent across America.
During 2020, there was up to $2 billion in damage due to the riots that swept the nation.
And there were people within these protests, like I've said before as well, like George Soros and his friggin' cronies and the people that support and back him, that were funding the Freedom Convoy as well, like the extreme leftists, extreme socialist communists, right? People that want there to be societal collapse from the inside of Canada. These are the people that are like funding and promoting and hiring, and we need to be aware of it, okay? Because cops are getting duped, military is getting duped, political people are getting duped, we're all getting duped, innocent civilians are getting duped, and it's causing harm and death, okay? That's the reality of it. And I'm sick of having to friggin' call this stuff out and instead getting targeted and harassed and threatened, instead of people within cabinet like actually listening to people like me that are sharing this information willingly. So I will leave it at that. I hope people share this. I'm already well over 2 hours, 2739, and I hope that everyone has a wonderful rest of their day. Let's see this end button. Where is that? There we go.